It started as a dream, a test of skill, strategy, and endurance. From the very first match, through the grinding battles, the impossible comebacks, and the heartbreaks, each moment has led us here. A road paved with triumph and defeat, where only the strongest survived. They have fought through the gauntlet, proving themselves against the best, rising above the rest. New rivalries were forged, and grand legends were born. And in the end, a champion was crowned. But that was just the beginning. Welcome to Season 2 of the Parallel Prime League, where the stakes are higher, the competition is fiercer, and only the strongest will rise to the top. New challenges, new strategies, same relentless pursuit of glory. Are you ready to make history? Let the games begin.
And welcome to the first official open of Season 2 of the Parallel Prime League. We've got our top 16 today. Last weekend we had the Swiss rounds, and this first open is a special one as it's a 10K prize pool, so extra cash. There we go. And of course, it's powered by Echelon and Prime, so thank you to Echelon for sponsoring the event today. We've got Muka and Quinto on the pre-show here to discuss the tournament going into it. What are your predictions today, both of you?
Yeah, I think that we just got a new patch, and the players that have made it to the top 16 of this open are all very creative players. So I think we'll see some discrepancies amongst like the lineups that they bring, not just in the deck list, but just even like Paragons as a whole, which really excites me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Especially
definitely.
Oh, go ahead, Quinto.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a patch lately, and we're gonna see some exciting decks going on. We know there's some HO, some ADHQ, like some off-meta decks that can really kick things off. But as terms, if you're asking for predictions in terms of like players, you mean?
I would say like decks that we might see, players, just like any general predictions for today's tournament. Yes.
I was gonna say, Keens, are you locking in somebody already? Like you're already gonna start saying? That was really bold.
Yeah, I have the bracket up here. I'm already like, okay, this is the path for this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at the bracket here. So the first match that we're going to spectate today is going to be the PURP Reizuu match. And of course, PURP is known for bringing some off-meta decks, so I'm pretty interested to see what he's cooked up there. But then we've got the rest of the competitors who they're facing off with. Is there any particular match that both of you think is going to be tricky or interesting amongst these top 16 players?
Yeah, I think I'm a fan of what like Malston and Feno. Those guys have done well. Fat Cat and Pandapple. And then Penzokin and BlizzConJan, those two aren't versing each other, but like those players all usually have like their own spin on things and have made top cuts of tournaments before. So I'm very, very interested to see what they bring. Like I think there's just going to be a ton of variation, which I'm super excited for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. There's also BlizzConJan and Dual being a participant in the top 16 of the Worlds. And BlizzConJan, who couldn't actually get into the knockouts because of his age. So it's gonna be interesting. I've heard a lot from example from Jarla talking to me about BlizzConJan, that he's such a great player but couldn't participate. So it's gonna be exciting to watch how he performs.
Yeah, little spoiler alert, we interviewed Jarla yesterday for the Parallel League podcast, and episode's going to go live next week, but he was saying that he, met BlizzCon Jam when he was basically 8 years old, 10 years ago, and like to me, that is just an absolutely insane fact. And so now he's just about 18 and competing. So pretty wild to see. So yeah, good luck to BlizzCon Jan. And also Zarathustra. I mean, he was the first major winner of last season, right? So I expect high things from him as well. So we've got quite a good lineup of players for the top 16 today. And I think we're going to take a look at the deck list of Reizuu and PURP here pretty soon. But yeah, before we get to that, what do you think was the most impactful nerf of the patch 6.4 a few days ago, do you think?
I would say Magna, obviously. I think Magna is has been such a threat in the meta since forever. One of the best cards in the game, and now that it can only deal 3 damage instead of 4, 5, 6, or whatever you can get it out with, it's so game breaking. Yeah. So I mean, this is talking about the standpoint of like really tweaks here and there, like a Magna that can deal 5 damage against a Kathy or 4 damage against a Wong or something like that, like anything. Just being able to do more damage by itself, it's such like can swing the tempo to your favor in such a big way. So yeah, for me that's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big one. I also think the no snitching change that it can only work on 4 cost units or less is going to be a big deal. Now, if you run into like a Terramech Shield Titan, you can't just like no snitching it. You need other outs to it. So maybe we'll see cards like Solitary Confinement or stuff like that to try to remove those kind of threats. Yep. But yeah, I mean, even like doing it on like an Adira or like all these high cost cards now have staying power. You can't just no snitching them and then not worry about them.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons that people weren't playing some of the big cards like the Tetsu or Sesmir or anything that's like Otius, for example. I mean, probably still not meta, but these such big cards that we're getting like countered by a 0 cost card. And now that there's an option to actually play it, definitely no snitching has become a big nerf.
I mean, I would think that most people will just cut it all together, right? I mean, it seems
well. There's a counterpoint to that because like a high percentage of the units that you actually want to use no snitch on are lower than 4 cost. For example, all the Stewies, the Stewards, the Earthen one, the Shroud one, the Bannerman, like many low cost cards that can actually in the early game use no snitch and you're good.
Yeah, and I suppose the benefit of parallels in the late game, you can always bank it, right? If its utility goes down. So yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Well, what do you think about the bans for today? What will we likely see get axed from the lineup from these players?
I think we're gonna see a mix, but it's probably gonna be between like Kathy and Sippy. I wonder if we see a world where we get some like Shroud bans, like with Brand becoming more popular in the Swiss portion, but I don't think so as much. Like Quinto, what do you think about it?
Well, yeah, we're moving on to PURP decks.
Yeah, we'll take a look at PURP decks now. See what the crazy guy's cooked up when it comes to his ingenuity with the decks here. Quinto, you want to take away the analysis for PURP here?
Yeah, sure. So, HU, like right away, classic PURP here, using enough meta deck. We see like the new Maritus could be able to cook here really good, going with the allocated provisions to just keep, allocated provisions in this deck. I wonder what is the use of it. I guess is it with a researcher to keep on being able to cycle the deck, because that's the highest priority here in this deck, to just cycle it and be able to play a HO. But a really interesting list here with the Master Poisoner also being able to deal with other mid-range control decks. Yeah, the Radiant Legion also.
Yeah, 3 copies.
It's a good pair here with the allocated provisions. I mean, this is a really solid list. The Memento, it's another card that is interesting. Like really solid solid list here for PURP, for sure.
Funny, sometimes you almost forget that, neutral cards like allocated provisions are universal because you only see it in Earthen so much of the time. You're like, oh, wait, hang on. Other classes can play this card. No, you're absolutely right. A very fascinating list, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can get some success with it. All right, let's go on to the next one. Brand. All right, let's go. Muka, you want to take it away? And
Yeah, sure. Looking at the list here, looks pretty standard. It's more of a trusty belt version. So this is something that we saw PURP do well with. In the Swiss portion, things to note are the Void Keepers in place of something you'd traditionally see like an Honored Steward. And he's running 3 trusty belts. So he really wants these units that do well on the board to like keep trading, like the Astel's Glaives, the Void Keepers, the Brand Paragon, the Void Trapper. That synergy with the trusty belt is like, key here for this kind of deck. So I'm very interested to see how it does. I saw him do well with it in Swiss, so I think he just locked it in again, like a very similar version.
Looks good. All right, let's go on to the next. Ooh, PURP. Let's see. What has PURP cooked up here with Augencore? Quinto, take it away.
Yeah, this is the list that's been running in ladder lately, the standard list about Augencore that's not universal. So definitely really solid in terms of 2 solitary confinements, since if it runs into Earthen, there's gonna be he's gonna need some answers here, like also using paid off, the anti-organic pulses. Like this deck can really definitely go against Earthen, has the weapons also to go against Shroud with the defense turrets. He's not running Alvaros though. Going with the Astels, 3 Grolls to just also a good answer against Shroud to be able to, with that shielded. Definitely a really interesting list against. I wonder what he's gonna bank against his opponents, because he will have to play with this deck for sure.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I don't know. 3 kill switches too, which is nice. Could help against the Earthens, perhaps. Yeah, looks pretty good. Muka, any thoughts, or shall we move on to the next one?
No, I think you guys mostly covered it. I like to call this kind of variation like the kind of like kill switch Grawl list. So he's gonna be pulling a lot of the upgrades from his bank and then just like refilling his bank with the Grawl. So it's kind of like a stun tempo-y kind of build.
Cool. All right, and I believe that's it. I'm assuming, or no, sorry, there's one more here, but we don't know the ban yet. Okay. All right, Catherine Lapointe. Let's see, anything looking different here? We've got the 2 second wave soldiers. That's definitely risen in popularity. Everything else is looking kind of similar, except for the 3 crack shots. That's interesting to see the crack shots making a comeback here. And we've got 3 of the Bloodhound transports. See anything else standing out to you? He's running the logistics mastery, so really going for like the deeper burn plan. Couple copies of Catherine's expertise as well. Let's see.
I can shed a little light on this because I saw him play this in Swiss and I thought it was really cool. Basically, like a lot of those burn cards, they're almost like the upgrades that we saw in the Grawl variant of Workshop. So he's going to be like, if he draws them too early, he's going to be banking these burn cards. And then with the rummaging, he'll be revealing them. And then he finishes off with like smuggled supplies and then just burns from his bank to finish off his opponents. So it was like, I thought this was a very like really cool variation of Cathy that I saw come out of the Swiss. He was the only one doing it. And kudos to him, because I think it's a very, very cool list. Like you set up with the logistics mastery, and then you don't have to like try to draw into the burn. It's all sitting in your bank, and then as you reveal it throughout the game, like the rummagings and stuff, then you just kind of go all out at the end and try to finish them off.
Wow, that's really cool. Man, if this works, I could see a lot of people copying this style in the future. So I'm quite hyped to see this go through. But I wonder if it'll get burned, or not burned, sorry, banned. You know, it might be scary enough that Reizuu might just get rid of it.
Yeah, between this and the Acio, I think Perp has a very it's not very easy for your opponent to be like, which one do you want to get rid of and which one do you want to ban?
Yeah, burn Kathy is always a bit terrifying. All right, well then let's see if we move on to Reizuu's decks here now. We don't quite know what they've banned just yet, so we can move on. All right, Reizuu's first deck being banned here. Quinto, you want to give us a breakdown?
Yeah. This one looks like the aggro brand that we've been seeing around in ladder lately, going on with the embedded agents early on, the void trappers, the Romayan researches, the sacred siphoners, and the salvation. The trusty belt really does the job here for Brand. In the case of the Adira and Brand himself, lately we have seen also one Triumph copy also for these Shroud decks, and he's going with a 3 Demox, like definitely heavy on the Demox, which are good if he's planning to ban an aggro deck, which Perp will have only one clear aggro option. However, probably will have a tough time against Perp's HO or Augencore list in this regard, because definitely Brand relies a lot on tempo, and if they doesn't manage to set up a board, then it's gonna have a tough time against these kind of decks.
Yeah, biggest difference between this and Perp's list in terms of strategy, or are they pretty similar here?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a little different just 'cause Perp leans more with 3 trusty belts and he has the Void Keepers instead of the Honored Stewards. But aside from that, they're very similar. Reizuu has Relic Removal, which I don't think Perp had in any of his lists, which may give away his bans. Probably more sippy on Perp's side of banning other Reizuu's lists. But Reizuu looks like he's open to take on a sippy.
I see. All right, let's move on to Reizuu's second list here. Nehemiah. Let's see, Muka, you want to take this one?
Yeah, for sure. Right off the bat, I see some things that aren't typical in your normal Nehemiah list. There's 2 Cunning Diplomats, a card that doesn't always see too much play nowadays. Some builds, yeah, but 2 Miasmancers also. Normally, if this is played in Earthen, there's just like a one-of tech copy. It's usually there to remove the keywords for a turn, remove all the defenders, get the trades that you want, things like that. And kind of like choose how you want to trade, more for the mirror match, I would assume, but having 2 copies is like pretty big, so I wonder how much impact he'll get out of those. 2 spores in this list, lot of relic removal, 3 relic repurposing, and then the 1 solitary confinement, which we talked about. It's maybe like the new card to get rid of like the Terramex and other big units that no snitching normally used to hit.
Yeah, looks pretty good. All right, let's move on to Reizuu's third deck here. We've got another Kathy list. Let's see how different this looks from Perps here. So we've got no Logistics Mastery, or the Smuggled Supplies. So definitely going for a different, list. 3 copies of the Interrogator. We've seen that a lot in Kathy before. There was a couple Poisoners in there, probably some to combat some Earthens. Everything else, dare I say, this one looks standard, but I do think it looks pretty similar to what we've seen in the past, like in the World Championship. Muka, Quinto, anything in particular standing out that looks different?
I mean, this is the common list used without the burn side of things, which, in my opinion, now even without the Vindicator being meta, definitely you need that last kick of damage, which Perps Kathy has.
Yeah.
Especially with this little sneaky combo with the smuggled supplies that Muka was telling us about. So, I mean, the Alvaro sometimes doesn't do the job that it needs in doing damage to phase, even against a effect heavy deck. So yeah, only one Cathy's expertise. Probably he runs low on being able to do that last piece of damage needed for Cathy.
Yeah, it's way more unit heavy and relies on the rallying cry more with this list. That's why the Alvaro's in there.
Yep.
You even fit in a second wave, trying to make sure the rallying cries hit really well.
Yep, that's what I was thinking as well. All right, let's move on to the last deck here. And it's a Scipius, a Paragon we barely ever see in parallel tournaments here. Looks like he's opting for a kill box, which is interesting. We saw a lot of people cutting the kill boxes for like Drusian Exorators in the championship, so it's interesting to see it make a little bit of a comeback here. What else? We've got a few of the Praetors, which, oh, there's also an Exorator as well. Okay, so we've got one kill box, one Exorator for a little bit of flexibility. Let's see, we've got a couple of the Praetors, as I just said, which is a solid unit that's been added to the Scipius list. I think everything else looks pretty normal to what we normally see. Anything standing out amongst this list, guys?
Well, we have seen lately in the ladder that these guys are running Convergent Recruiter without actually the Centauros, which was one of the Convergence, well, one of the best cards before the nerf, and they are running the Recruiter with only the Princeps and the Domina. So it only, aside from the Recruiter, there's only actually 5 more options, which is that only 2 Recruiters if you play one, or if you have banked one. Like, you don't have many options of Convergence, but it still cycles the deck. They are still using it for that because it activates the Master of CP also. So it's interesting to see these kinds of lists still running Convergence, but without too many of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I think that was the last deck there. We discussed, thoughts on potential bans, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that Scipius get axed. I mean, Scipius is still quite great, right? So, and then between PURP's list, I'm a little scared of that Cathy personally. I could see that working out really, really well with the burn in the late game. So that would be my personal predictions for the bans. But would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I think you're kind of right. I think PURP's Cathy is probably going to take the hit. It's going to be a little awkward for Reizuu because PURP is bringing an Acio, so I believe no high density replicators. I can't remember off the top of my head. So all that relic removal he bought for the Sippy is not going to work here. It's going to, and there's a lot of relic removal in Reizu's list, at least 3 in almost every build. So I think that will throw him off a little bit. And then on PURP's side, he's probably going to ban the Sippy because he brought like 0 relic removal. I'm cheating a little. I already see the ban, so I'll announce them for us.
Okay.
PURP has banned Scipius from Reizuu, and Reizuu has banned the brand from PURP. So PURP's Cathy list that we were talking about, right? That like smuggled supplies kind of burn thing. And then the Acio both went through. We thought one of them was going to go.
Wow. Yeah, that's surprising. That's very interesting. Yeah, looks like we've got the bans there. I'm honestly really shocked by that, but it does. I mean, both of them bought Brand, so maybe Brand is scary right now. I mean, it certainly has a lot of tools, to deal with like an Augencore type of stuff, and so, I don't hate it, but I'm also quite excited that we're gonna get to see the Cathy as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think Brand is like the new Shroud to consider alongside Neve. It used to be like just Neve and then maybe New Dawn, but Brand is seeing some love again. I think just because Neve is not as strong into Earthen as she once was, and we've talked about this time and time again. But the Brand can hold up that matchup better just because the Paragon itself is like an erasure kind of threat. It's banishing everything it runs into.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, especially demolecularize, like that is just the goated card against you can make it to the late game against the Nehemiahs, like you're gonna want to demo those wide boards. So and I suppose, I mean, my personal fave of New Dawn maybe it just isn't quite good enough right now with the aggressive deck. So I like the Brand choice, and it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see it come back. It's really funny how this like rotation of Shroud decks, like they really like more so than probably any other class, like the pick of the Paragon for Shroud seems to rotate more so, I think, than the other parallels in the
Yeah,
game. So
I think you're right. In general, the lists from Shroud differ probably the least, but like
mm-hmm.
the
Yep.
Paragon rotation happens a lot more because that's where the
Yeah.
strategy comes in, right? It's only Brand nowadays we're starting to see more of the Brand only cards like Trusty Belts and maybe the Void Keepers. Even that is like an iffy one. Like Perp is
Right.
running Void Keepers in his, but Reizuu is running Honored Stewards in his. So that like Trusty Belt's like the only card that is like exclusively for Brand. Um, so I think
Yeah.
that's very cool to see. But with that
It's
said, we're going to our first game.
It's true. I do think Trusty Belt is one of those cards though where it's like, it's flexible. Maybe there's a convenient attack you can make with it. But yes, you're absolutely right. It is for the purpose of Brand for sure. All right, well here we go, folks. Finally, we got our first match of the first Open of the Parallel Prime League. So let's get into it. And we've got a Kathy Mirror as our first matchup here.
Yeah, in this Kathy mirror, I think Reizuu might have an edge. I mean, unless Perp gets a lot of those burn cards nice and like ready, loaded to go. But the unit version is gonna hit more often than not. And we already see Reizuu starting off with a Crimson Fleet Machinist into a Bloodhound transport. So that's what you want to see if you're starting. That's immediately pressure. This becomes a 1-3 from the Kathy buff, and the Fleet Machine is giving an extra health. So you're immediately putting pressure down, which is good. His turn two, though, does not look good. So he needs to find something there.
Yeah, hopefully you can top deck something. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think when it comes down to these Kathy mirror matches, the unit heavy ones are certainly favored because sometimes the burn heavy list, like they wind up having to use their burn on the units, the opposing units, to sort of stay alive, and that never feels good. You want to be sending that face, but usually the damage from the units scales faster than like the burn can end it, unless there's some really crazy combos, which Perp does have logistics mastery. So, maybe if he gets that developed early, he could just sort of outrace the unit damage here. But I think you're right that Reizuu should be favored in this particular game.
Yeah, I mean, it can come down to these next few turns for Reizuu for sure, because his turn two is not looking good unless he draws into a 2-drop. Then we're like chilling. It's going to be a really good synergy. But Perp has already matched the same level of aggression with the Crimson Fleet Machinist and Bloodhound Transport of his own. And if he can capitalize on a good turn two where Reizuu can't, then it can shift. And but on the same vein, Reizuu has an artillery volley, so that could also shift things up.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, but that volley could come in clutch here. Man,
Mm,
whiffing your turn two when you're playing
that's
the
rough.
aggro, Kathy, just does not feel good. So,
Yeah,
despite everything that we were saying about technically maybe Reisu's list would be favored here, it's not good enough to where if you whiff your turns, it can recover. So we'll see what Perp has here. Unfortunately, we don't have Perp's hand right now. We're working on that. But that's okay. We can play from the
it's a nice
perspective of
little
Reizuu.
surprise, you know? We get a nice little surprise. I really like, by the way, that we can now see how well each person in the tournament did seed-wise, like this overlay.
Yeah,
I was admiring a little bit. I like that, seeing like Purpose Seed 1, seeing how he did on his record. Same thing with Reizuu. That's really cool. I like that.
also purpose seed number one. Wow.
Yeah, he was killing it last week. All right, does he have another 1-drop for this? I mean, he does have a Bloodhound if he kind of whiffs, because I don't think either of them are playing any other vehicles other than the Bloodhound transport, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's something there. Okay. Not
It's a
not an
lot of
insane
aggression.
view, but certainly good enough.
Yeah.
And then we've got Reizuu going into the Catherine's rallying cry. He's got those Alvaro interrogators in the list. Oh, he actually has a gunslinger as well. Okay, that kind of makes the curve a bit better there. Not a ton of damage though, and of course the artillery volley could clean up this little board. But I suppose there is 5 damage. Like they're not huge, but that definitely is not nothing. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, this is still a lot of power to work with, and he has cards that he can trade in. This is pretty good for Perp. I mean, Reizuu has the rallying cry, and we spoke about it that like that's where a lot of the power comes from in his version of the deck. So if he can like build up a unit and then volley it, he's kind of reset Perp. It's on Perp to now take this lead and not like overextend into a volley.
Yeah, for sure. Little one drops are a nice pickup because if he wants to go for the rallying cry, he'll have like a 1 into 3 next turn. But I would not be shocked if we see one of these one drops banked here.
Yeah.
I don't really want to give up the volley. Every time I bank artillery volley, I regret it for the most part, and it's one of the hardest cards to bank. But it's one that I feel like you're faced with the decision to bank it quite often because like you want to go for tempo as the aggro player, right? And so, yeah, I've been in that situation one too many times. Uh, all right, so we picked up a
Taken from PTSD.
gunslinger and a bannerman here. No 2 drops. A little unfortunate for him.
Yeah, not too bad though. Bannerman comes out as a 2/3, so it will require like Perp to put a lot of resources in to trade it. So I don't know if Perp. I mean, a no snitching would help here a lot, but otherwise, trading into this isn't too favorable and probably good for Reizuu because he doesn't have to waste his volley yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the no snitching change is quite fascinating here. I mean, Quinto made a great point that most of the targets are in the early game for stewards or even bannermans, that type of stuff. Um, but I still think it's quite significant for the rest of the game here. Okay, wow, chooses to go for a Catherine's expertise, throwing some burn into the bannerman. I mean, you kind of have to do it to remove the threat, but you're not really developing anything else yourself. But fortunately for Perp, he had a pretty good start with these one drops, so he was able
Yep.
to, still push some face damage here.
This is still good pressure. I mean, he's not giving too many of his resources away on the unit side. In theory, he's only played 2 units. The Bloodhounds kind of came for free with the searches, right? So
Hmm.
it's not like he had to develop them through some like ulterior means. It's kind of like they came along with the Fleet Machinist. They provide good value. There's still a ton of other good cards in your deck that will scale as the game keeps going on.
Yep, absolutely. Reizuu is now drawing some cards with the rummaging researcher, getting some extra resources to the hand. It was looking a little rough for him in the first few turns here, but I will say the development of this researcher plus a one drop is pretty strong.
Yeah,
Um, Definitely a little bit of a nice recovery here. So, and then he's
I
also
like
picked
the
up
addition of
another
researchers.
one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I like the addition of researchers now in Kathy. I mean, this used to never be a thing, and
Mm-hmm.
players have adapted more to like the power that rummaging has and the synergy it just has with like a even an early game tempo deck, and putting those in really has transformed the deck in terms of like getting resources and not like getting empty on gas.
How new of an inclusion is the researcher here? Like, is that from the Vindicator nerf, or did we see like I'm a bit fuzzy? Like researchers in so
It's
many decks,
still yeah,
but
it's not fairly new, but like man, I remember oh man, what tournament was it? I think what tournament did Brighty play it? That's when I first saw it.
mm,
He was playing it. I think it was knockout stages of last season is when it
okay,
kind of like started becoming a thing.
that makes sense. All right, so it's been around for a little while, but still not something that we've seen all the time in
Yeah.
Kathy. All right, well, that Master Poisoner was really clutch there with all the little poke damage, being able to easily take out the researcher and the bannerman. So now, Reizu's in a little bit of an awkward position because I'm sure he would have wanted to develop the like Kathy plus the one drop here, which he might still do. Looks but then like with the research or sorry the poisoner on the board, that makes that a bit weird. you know? So
He's
that was
okay now
really
because he drew the Bloodhound.
oh, perfect.
So
There you go.
he had the Fleet Machinist. The Fleet Machinist get the Bloodhound, play the Bloodhound buff. Now he can play the Cathy a bit freely.
Wow, that worked out very nicely. Is that the only other vehicle in the list? Like, was that a guaranteed
Yeah,
pull?
yeah.
Okay.
It's all. I think both these guys. It's only Bloodhound transport.
I actually quite like that. Like, no, not messing around with Vindicator anymore after the nerf. Glaive, I suppose, is cut. You're just consistently getting that strong opener if you've got the Machinist on turn 1. And then for situations like that, that's very targeted. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I'm I sometimes I'm torn on it though, because I liked the like a 3 cost or a 4 cost vehicle to help with the mid game. Because
Hmm.
other matchups it's tough to not have it. But in the mirror, like the Bloodhounds definitely probably shine more often than not.
I mean, now that Vindicator's nerfed, what's the other option for, a vehicle?
I don't know. We could go back to combat heuristics.
Oh gosh. Such a short amount of time that what was it? The heuristics extrapolator, maybe
Yep.
is that what it's called? Yeah, we didn't see too much of that after it got nerfed because it was too strong. All right, let's see. So we've got 6 energy on this turn from Reizuu here. That artillery volley looking
It's looking like a volley play.
decent, but I also think you could consider being greedy with it here, and just taking out the Cathy with the
PS8.
PS8, and then kind of holding back on the volley.
Yeah, you might not be wrong. I mean, that might be the move considering how he's drawing. You can bank the no snitching, then play your Alvaro. That's pretty strong
Hmm.
turn, even without having to like use a volley. And
That's
your
a
Bannerman's already getting buffed from the PSA. I like this.
That's super strong. This is like the swing here. Like we'll see how Perp follows it up, but that is very very strong. And even another machinist. I don't know if we've seen
I think we're
all
out of
three. Are
Bloodhounds.
we out
I,
of them?
I think so. No, maybe one
Yeah.
more for Reizuu. I mean, Perp, I think, is done.
Yeah, when you're going first, which I believe Reizuu did, right? I mean, those extra draws mean so much. So I
Yeah.
suppose that's another argument maybe against just having the Bloodhound transports in the list with the machinist, because you really don't want to miss on the draws there. But could see it going back and forth.
Yeah, I wonder what he does next. We're rocking 6 energy next turn. We haven't seen Perp really explode yet with like any power turns. He's just had really good aggro tempo with the Bloodhounds, and there was the Master Poison. Okay, there's another Master Poison. He's just gonna square up and trade. And the way that he's playing and like kind of like re-equalizing the board every time is probably going in his favor way more than it is going for Reizuu, because Reizuu, like we talked about, is more unit oriented. So I wonder if Perp is like really building up his effects like either in the bank or in his hand to kind of like start exploding later in the game.
Yeah. Look, I think there were 2 really significant turns here where Perp had the poisoner. One was
Yep.
that last one. If he didn't have the poisoner there, I mean, maybe a volley could have done something, but I think he really would have struggled. And then also the turn with the rummaging researcher and the bannerman, that master poisoner was incredibly significant too. So I think the poisoners have been like the MVP for Perp in this particular game here. He would have significantly struggled without him.
100%. And now we're approaching the part of the game where the Cathy player, you can't really use all your energy. Paragon's gone. Like the gas is starting to run out. So now it's tough. How do you still build pressure through this? I don't think he has any more bloodhounds based on how he's playing. Or like he would
Mhm.
have already done it, you know what I mean, if he had it. So I'm thinking he's just trying to figure out how to bank and just what does he do next, because it is not going to be clean.
Yeah, I think the window of opportunity for Reizuu to have taken this match is past now. Like we said it that his focus is the early to mid game
Oh,
units getting pulled from Cathy,
yeah.
and now Perp is probably going to be able to find maybe that logistics mastery or the burn, having the board. Wow, nice. The researcher follow up to get more cards. I think that Reizuu is really going to struggle, but I will say that Triumph pickup could do some work. So maybe a little bit of a saving grace for Reizuu there.
Yeah, I love seeing the effects getting revealed, double crack shot reveal. You can already
Hmm.
see the cogs starting to turn on this plan that he's just going to reveal them and burn. I wonder, is he like just holding on to his smuggled supplies already or waiting to draw it?
If we were
I would
hand
wonder
tracking,
at this point you're
maybe.
just holding on to it, yeah. But yeah, the rummaging is a good play for him because now Reizuu can't just volley with like a big enough unit. He's gonna have to like maybe play the Alvaro and burn himself a little bit with the Triumph. A Memento going on too.
Oof. That's pretty good. That's
Yeah,
very, very good. Wow.
that's
Yeah.
super solid. A Memento
I
for Reizuu. That's not gonna help right now though.
know. Gosh, obviously you go with the Triumph, but yeah, does he want to bank the Interrogator first? I mean, you don't really want to develop it and then cast the Triumph and just give
Yeah.
him some extra damage, so that makes sense.
Yeah, we're putting it all on the line with Triumph of Mars. He hits the rummaging. That's a
Oh,
good. That's
wow.
good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you can even take out, like, if you wanted to go with Ren from Earth, technically you could use the gunslinger, but it won't kill the researcher, meaning the memento will get passed off
Yeah.
there. So, what is the best way to deal with this? I mean, you could start out with the researcher, but if you're going to cast the Sondrion, you might want to figure out that sequencing first.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The memento makes the decision so tough because otherwise it's like a clean 2 unit sweep. But now
Right.
memento passes once you're gonna deal with a 3/6 rummaging. And it's kind of annoying to play your own rummaging because then Perp's just gonna draw if you're Reizuu. This is a really
This is
tough
this is a
situation.
tough turn, yeah. Looks like he's gonna go for the Rend from Earth, and then I suppose follow it up with the Gunslinger. This is a tricky spot to be in for Risu here.
Yeah.
I mean, one unit with the Memento is manageable, I think.
Yeah. Becomes a
And with
4/4.
mm-hmm. And with Perp's list being, burn heavy, perhaps. But I don't know. Risu's at 15 now with the 4/4 on the board, and we'll see if he can get anything else from this researcher. But I think he's still gonna struggle with that memento developed.
Yeah, I think if you're perp though, you probably just ignore board at this point and maybe
Yeah,
start, going face.
I think
We'll
so.
have to
Oh
see.
wow. The extra trigger for the researcher too on
Yep.
Perp's side of the board is really nice for him.
Yeah, that's gonna help him a ton in getting some of that play. And that's why it was awkward for Reizuu to go for his rummaging, because perp just draws off it also.
Oh man, Perp. I, I'm almost I don't know how much I wanna see this on ladder, if he makes a, like a staple, kinda shifts the meta back to Burn Kathy, I mean, man, at least the games are quick, but in general, Burn Kathy is always pretty tough to play
Yeah.
against as, like, a
This is a
Shroud
cool
player.
variation though. I really like it.
It is
Like
cool, I'm gonna hand it to him, and it's
out of the
making me
box.
realize how interesting or, like, neat of a card, Smuggled Supplies is. Like,
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool one. Okay.
All right, he's gonna attack with his own Cindy. The memento pass is nice too. He does go for face. He was setting it up that the Cindy could maybe kill the rummaging researcher on Rizu's side. Doesn't end up getting it. But still, this
Honestly,
is good pressure.
don't think it's a
Meets with
big
the
deal.
Harv.
Wow. Even has a favorable stats going up against that researcher
Yeah,
there. Okay, all right. We got the rallying cry pickup, but I don't know. Without an answer to that 7 attack, Sondrion, I think
yeah.
that Risu is cooked here.
Hits his own Harv. It's kind of cool. But yeah, Rizu's like it's just on fumes. There's no like follow-up plan. At
Yeah.
this point he just has to maybe hammer down board and try to win faster. Just like put units on the board, maybe play your own Alvaro to try and punish while racing. But Perp is definitely ahead. He's got 9 damage on board, only needs 1 burn card, and there's no way for Reizuu to kill anything.
Yeah. No, he's cooked here. It would have to take a lot of damage to outrace Perp. I mean, he's probably just dead this next turn here,
Yeah,
but
Perp would have to whiff here, like no burn, and then
right.
maybe big push. But I don't see that happening.
I mean, he just needs 2 damage. It's hard to believe that a burn Kathy list can't find 2 damage, but I
Yeah.
suppose miracles could technically happen. I don't understand the preemptive trade there.
I think it's just to see if Perp makes a mistake and attacks with Cindy first, and the Cindy kills a
Okay.
Harf.
Wow. I mean, hey, you got to give. I mean, all of these players are very good, but you never know. Someone might slip up. They might accidentally, attack with the Cindy first. So that's smart. I like it.
Yeah, let's see what Perp does. I mean, if he had it, he would have just done it, right?
He could be sneezing, coughing. A cat could have, jumped on his lap or
He
something. You never know.
traded. I don't think he had it. He doesn't have it just yet, but we're still like very close to being there.
Yeah.
4 health on Reizuu now. Do we have burn? I don't think we have burn.
I don't think so. I think he would have cast it by now.
Yeah.
Perp doesn't seem like the type to rope
To
out
BM
too
like
much
that.
here. No. But I think that he's still in a great position. I mean, that Wong in Risu's hand is certainly scary, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, oh wow, okay, Triumph. Surely.
Is it there now?
Nice.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he had burn.
Yep.
For those that don't know what just happened, with the latest patch, there is something going on where if a card is played that just gives lethal, it'll just automatically do it. Like, be like, oh, you won. It'll register that you won. It won't show the other player the card you played to win the game.
Wait, they still need to cast it though, right? Like it
Yes,
doesn't.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes. It's not just like it's not
Like
the game is saying, like,
automatically
no, bud, you're cooked. You're cooked.
draw,
Like,
drawn to the hand. That's
yeah,
definitely cheating because sometimes people miss lethal. But okay, good to know. Well, we see Perp taking that first game there, and yeah, I'm gonna reiterate the point that there was the window of time for Reizuu to take it with the units in the early to mid game, but the Master Poisoners were able to just really make great use of Perp's development in the first couple turns with those Machinists and Bloodhound transports. So yeah, things went pretty well for Perp that game, all things considered.
yeah, not bad at all. Having the burn there to kind of finish the job. Now I'm very interested. We didn't talk about this on the pre-show, but his Ogden Core kind of scares me a little. I've seen this list pop up. I'm not the biggest fan of this version of Ogden Core. I think it's like can miss too many times. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but it's very reliant on like the synergy of cards together rather than like standalone cards, and it doesn't always get the desired effect, which like worries me. So I don't think he's gonna have too much of a problem. Maybe he'll lose some games and Reizuu will get like the Marco win against what's left on the board. But in regards to like if we go down to the wire game 5 between these two, then the Ogden Core on Perp side is, I think, is like the weakest link of all the decks that are left.
Yeah, I feel like Ogden Core is in a little bit of a weird spot because if you're looking at like parallelstats.com, Ogden Core or Juggernaut Workshop is played quite a bit. Like its play rate is quite high. It's like, top 5 at least according to those stats, but its win rate is not as good. And so I think people like still love Juggernaut Workshop, but we haven't really seen it perform super well like in the championship. I mean, I think there was only like a handful of people that brought it. But I think Perp's decision I think Perp just generally likes Ogden Core because
He's always been doing Ogden Core.
He's always been into it. But I am a little bit surprised to see him bring it over something like Nehemiah, right?
Yeah. I think he's always strayed away from Earthen. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like that's true. I don't think I've ever seen a Perp Earthen list.
Yeah, I mean, he's brought various iterations on Ogden Core type of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that one? A clause? What's that one?
Ambush Clause.
Ambush Clause, yeah. That I don't think has performed super well from in the past, though. So I was quite happy to kind of see him step away from that version because, I mean, it's really cool, but I think it's fallen short in the past. And this one's probably a little bit more straightforward with the the Growls and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, but the Augencore he has might pair well into Reizуу's Earthen a bit, because like Reizuu has like the Cunning Diplomat and the Miasmancers, which I don't think do a ton to Augencore. Like that's more kind of like mirror match stuff, right? So
Yeah, I was
if
gonna
there is a
ask
matchup
you
that you want, I think that's
what
it.
the Miasmancers, like, what's he trying to target with that specifically?
I think it's like a mirror match. Like you just kind of like get better trades in the Earthen mirror. And it strips the defenders away, it strips shielded away, so you can like Miasmancer into like solitary confinement on like a Terra mech if it has shielded. So it makes you really flexible in the mirror match.
Yeah, that list I think was tech card heavy, I think, which is interesting in parallel because again, you can always, the logic is, running tech cards isn't always great, but in parallel you can bank them if you don't need them, right? So it makes running them feel a bit better. So it'll be interesting if that type of list works out well for him in this series here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the matchup we talked about, we got it. So
Yeah.
we'll see if we were right or wrong on like who is slightly favored here. I think this one can go either way, but I do think if you're perp, this is the matchup you want to see with this Augencore.
I think so as well. Yeah. Well, we'll see how this Augencore performs. I've got high hopes for it because it's one of those things where it's like I really do love Augencore, but it hasn't been in the best position for a little while here.
Yeah.
Let's
We're
see.
seeing a
All
full mulligan from Reizuu. Very confident. He's looking for that Steward of the Garden.
Yeah. Didn't
Doesn't
find the
hit.
Stewie. Wow, the variant of the caretaker, that looks so cool.
Yeah, the
Oh my
prime
God.
variant. That is a baller variant right there.
Damn. I hadn't seen it yet. I'm like shook. That looks so cool. Okay.
Get it together, Allie. We have a broadcast.
Sorry. Yeah, okay.
We can fangirl over the
My
variants.
bad. It's just flexing
It is
hard.
very cool. It is very, very cool. I like it a lot too. It's one of my favorite ones, aside from like the ships, because they have like the animated ones.
Yes.
But these are cool. Dang, he's flexed out. He's got the perfect loop, Altar of Gaia.
No.
But 2 turns of whiffing. Oh, we have Perp's hand now. This is good. We have
Nice.
2 turns of like, okay, he gets the relic, so it's not that bad, but not a strong start from Reizuu. And if you're Perp, this is exactly what you want to see. Like, no Steward of the Garden. You don't have to worry about getting like super out tempoed. You can play your curve. A triple Grawl isn't that great, but you have the workshop mechanic. You can just go for the armored support vehicle on turn 2. It's not a bad start at all for Perp. Like this is what you want the setup to be.
Interesting decision that he's thinking about banking the glaive here, because I don't know. If you've got 3 Growls, I mean I know they're great, but I would consider maybe just holding the glaive back there, but I suppose it doesn't line up super well into a lot of earthen units. Like the caretaker is going to be a 6/6, and so I can understand the decision there.
I agree with you. Do we
Yeah.
see any crazy paid offs this game, you think? Perp just drew into it. Do we see a YOLO paid off into like trying to snag like a Terramech Shield Titan, or I believe there's a Terra in this deck too. Let me double check. Yeah, there's a Terra.
Yeah, there is. Gosh, I mean, that is also a conundrum that, you run into a lot of the time when you're facing a Nehemiah. It's like,
Yeah.
Do you go for the paid off and yoinking the Titan?
Yeah.
And it's tricky. I don't know. I think a lot of the times it probably is right, but if you whiff, it doesn't feel great. And of course, you're giving them all that energy the following turn. So
Yeah.
it's a gamba.
It's a gamba, but like I think against this list, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it, and I don't know if that is like just me wanting to see it happen or if like it's the right play. But like you have 2 defenders on board, right? Reizuu has just finally started putting a unit on board that has threat. Like why not just put a paid off? If you hit a Terramech Shield Titan, great. If you hit a Terra, also great because you have double defender. Like that could be a fire like move on, like it's super high risk, but I don't know.
Do you go for it?
You would have to go.
Here?
I'm like saying, like, do you go for it now? Like, is this crazy? Like, I wonder if people are like saying like Muka shut up like when they see this on stream, but I don't know. He's
I
gonna
think
do
they
it.
do.
Oh my
Look,
god.
look, theoretically, the sooner you do it, the higher probability that
Yeah.
you have to find the cards that you want, right? With less in his
Amazing.
hand. So
He's
I
accepting
think
it.
it makes sense. And also the Grawl doesn't trade super well into the caretaker. So I'm a
Oh my
fan.
god. He's stealing a Terravek Shield Titan on turn 3.
Let's
He's just, he's
go.
just gonna give him
Yeah.
6 energies like, yo, thanks for this. Like, you can do whatever you want now. I'm chilling. Like, we're fine.
Wow.
This is crazy. That is so powerful. That's absolutely insane. Because now Reizuu, like, sure, you get how much energy? Working with 10 energy, but like, what are we doing? What are you doing here? Like, there's still a double defender. You can go like Nehemiah and then like big board, but I don't
Wow.
know.
This is so tough. Is that the earliest I think a Terramech could
That's the
hit the
earliest I've
board? I
ever
think
seen,
so. Right?
especially
I'm
from not playing it in your own deck.
yeah, yeah. I mean, right? Because you could only be able to cast. I mean, guess technically you could do it turn 2 if you went second with double Tioli, but that's got to be one of the earliest Terramechs I've ever seen hit the board.
That's absolutely crazy. I'm like smiling. This is like a wild gamble play, and it looks like it's gonna pay off though, because like even though Rizu's using a big turn, he can't use all this energy super efficiently. He doesn't have like the cards to really push with all that energy that Perp gave him. And Perp has a good turn next turn too with the workshop mechanic. And he can just trade the Terramech steadily and just take the board. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to remember here that the Terramech, albeit incredibly powerful, but when it's on the Augencore side, there's not really like there's no flourish or like there's no way to
Yep.
heal and make use
Yep.
of that ability. Also, it's not going to get defender in any way, right? So I think maybe Perp's best use of it. I mean, I don't know actually. I mean, he could just start jamming at face and say, if you don't deal with this in a couple turns, like
Yeah.
you're dead here. But it's pretty tempting to try and trade away into the Nehemiah, of course.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Perp chooses to do with it. But he's got the Juggernaut popping out at the end of the turn,
Yep.
which is pretty useful. Oh, there's a Sestmere that we see that just got picked up in the hand. There's only one upcycled, I believe, in his list. So
Yes.
we won't see that for a little while, but wow.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
Oh man.
The
Okay. Yeah,
force is with Perp on this day.
you popped
Okay.
up solitary confinement, Nehemiah's gone. And now you just keep jamming in Terramech Shield Titan. Like, what do you do against that?
Yeah, Perp just sends this face, says, you absolutely need to answer this. I mean, I guess, yeah, with the no snitching change, I mean, there's really no great way to answer it. Actually, I think, okay, Reizuu probably does have one solitary confinement, right, in this
He
list as
does.
well.
Yeah.
And then Miasmancers, but, um, hmm, wow, pain.
This is a
Reese's probably
lot of
like, what
pain.
the heck, man?
Yeah. He's trying to swing into the 6/6.
You're gonna block with the little cunning diplomat there. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Uh,
This is crazy. It's still a ton of pressure. No matter what, like, this is the tough part. Like, Rizu's already revealed 2 cards in bank. Perp is
yeah,
killing 1 unit minimum a turn with the Terramech Shield Titan. He's just gonna keep swinging. So if you're Rizu, you can't even like outpace losing 1 unit every turn because your Terror Glider is gonna be weak because you don't have allocated provisions,
right.
and you need like a Terror Glider to outpace losing units.
Do we see let's see, a defense juggernaut pop out here? Or can't really take anything out with the
Maybe the
artillery.
armed?
Yeah,
Go for the armed.
okay. He's going for it. I mean, with the defender already on the board, the
Yeah.
little vehicle can protect the armed.
This is good for Rizu. He can draw a ton. He's got double researcher with caretaker too.
There's only Yeah, actually
Oh
that
no,
would
he
work.
only gets one draw. His only
Yeah,
yeah, you're
yeah.
right. You're right.
Still something though.
Has
Not
to
the
hit an
worst.
allocated provisions off the rummaging researcher.
There you go.
Tioli into allocated provisions, fully conceal, draw like a bajillion cards, get yourself back in the game.
Yeah, so for those watching the patch, a few days ago, like allocated provisions got changed slightly. So now it costs 0, but you actually have to, in order to activate it, you have to pay 1. So interesting change to the card. Little different there. I kind of like the change there. Let's see. It's going to start off with the rummaging researcher draw, see what he gets.
We're low on timer too.
hmm
Oh, he's gonna pass. Wait, at least draw and see what you get
Oh,
first.
well, does he
How are
get
we doing
extra
this?
if he puts down the like he passes on the
Oh,
first one,
he's gonna make
right?
sure he draws 2 guaranteed.
Yeah.
I understand. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
that makes sense. Yep, yep. You were
Oh,
okay, caretaker. Yeah. He's still
okay.
drawing 2,
Okay.
but he's like making sure he guarantees 2 draws at least.
There we go. Reizuu, he's locked in. He knows what
He's
he's
locked
doing.
in. He's locked
Yeah.
in for
We're
sure.
just catching up to his game plan.
Okay,
Ooh.
confinement. That's good. He has an out now to Terramech Shield Titan. That's good. You can bank the snitching, sure.
Wow. Imagine if these no snitchings could actually target the Titan.
Yeah, he didn't bank though. Is he? Oh, he's not banking.
Oh god. Bang bang
Are
bang.
we? He's not banking.
No, I think he wants to. I think he's running out of time. Right?
Oh, oh my! Did we fit it?
Did he get it
We
in?
fit
Got
it.
it.
This
Wow,
is a
that's
top 16,
impressive.
folks. We don't mess around.
Down to the wire. Wow, I'm actually really surprised that he got that in. That was
Me too.
with no second left to spare.
All right, we're gonna drop a Wong.
So funny, like the value of seconds, like in everyday life, you're like, what's 5 seconds? But when you're playing a game, with the timer, like you really feel time there.
100%. Oh
Let's
man,
see.
what do we get? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's on the Terramech.
Wow.
That's actually probably the best case scenario for Reizuu now that he has an out to Terramech Shield Titan.
Yeah. I mean, I think you just send it. I mean, okay, let's see. The caretaker's got the defender, so of course that'll get passed off. A
Yeah.
little frustrating that he's probably gonna put it on one of these researchers, and the attack juggernaut doesn't cleanly answer that. But
Yep.
let's see. Hmm. What else is an option here? The upcycle did get picked up, so that could be interesting for Perp, but I mean, he's already got so much pressure on the board, so almost feels unnecessary, but I don't know. I suppose Earthen could do some crazy things. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so there's the relic repurposing into the solitary confinement, like if you wanted to use
Yes.
kill your own Gaia, right? Hmm.
I think that's the move. And then what I'm thinking about next is how is he going to deal with this Sestamir that follows up after?
Yeah.
Like it really feels like Perp with the Terramech Shield Titan, even though it's not like single-handedly like winning the game physically itself, has put Reizuu on such a back foot that Perp just kind of chills and wins the rest of the game now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from Risu's perspective, he's most certainly going to go with, uh, killing the
Yep.
Titan, but the follow he doesn't know about the strength of the follow up. So
Yeah.
a glimmer of hope for Risu, but we see that he's probably cooked.
Let's see. You never know. You can draw the right answers, maybe.
Yeah, but then I
Perp.
mean, here's the thing: the best bet for Risu would be to somehow build a semblance of a threatening board, like maybe getting Terra gliders, that type of stuff. But
Yeah.
then Perp has a anti-organic pulse in his hand and a Tioli to be able to cast it, a turn earlier. So I think that Perp's got every option under the sun here, of being able to handle Reisu's board and has the threat going as well. So I think it's pretty over at this point. But miracles can happen for Reizuu.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, what do you. We're at enough energy that, like, you can. Well, no, he only has one solitary confinement. How are you going to deal with more than one of these? But he's
I
gonna
don't
he's
think
gonna
you
go for
are.
his play. It looks like first. He's got 10 seconds. This he likes to play down to the
I
wire.
know. Like watching an alley stream here with the
Yeah.
the roping. Hey, when chat's talking to you, all right, there's a lot going on.
He's
But to
gonna
be fair, look,
no.
these turns are tricky, right? So
Yeah. All right. He has to relic repurposing. Yep. We got 5 seconds to
God.
make this happen. The dream. It's doable. He's gonna do this. Relic repurposing. Pop the shielded on the Terramech Shield Titan. Play the solitary confinement. Send it back to the deck. Think he might go to his own deck. Let's see how it works right now. Yep, it goes back to his own deck. And then he has neutralized the threat for now, which is really good. I was gonna say, imagine if he draws Terramech Shield Titan. I mean, like that's gotta feel pretty good. Perp mills a kill switch
Okay.
from his hand being too full. That would have been a nice draw to combo with a Grawl.
Indeed. That's actually an interesting interaction with the solitary confinement, knowing that if it's yoinked, it goes back to its owners. I mean, it does say owner's deck, but
Yeah,
interesting
I
to know.
think though that might change in the future. I remember Veen commenting on it. I don't remember. He might say that like if because it's switched hand, the owner might be the new owner, like who has it on the board. So
Hmm.
there might be a world where we live in where Terramech Shield Titan gets shuffled into like Perp's deck in this situation. I don't know though.
Interesting.
I can see both arguments.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
Looks like he's going with the workshops foreman here, getting the counters boosted, so he'll get a juggernaut at the end of the turn here. He's got one left over. He decided to go for the random upgrade on the overclock. I will say, like, wow, like despite the Titan getting developed, like it was not able to go face. Like he's still at
Yes.
29,
Yep.
That is power of Nehemiah defenders there.
It's got an Aegis generator on it. Okay, that's not that bad. He's gonna play his turret, and he'll be able to ping the rummaging researcher now. He's trying to, slowly choke out Reizuu, not give him any more resources. He's got card advantage right now. He's trying to keep it that way.
Yep. Getting a juggernaut here. I mean, I still think that Perp is in a great position. Even if like a Titan gets top decked here from Reizuu, that
Ugh.
AOP is going to do some serious work. And, there's even Perp picked up a solitary confinement on the last draw there, so that's sort of an answer. Doesn't have another, effect to combo with it if it is the Titan, but still useful nonetheless. But this hand just ain't it. Not on
Nope.
turn 7 or 6 here for Reizuu.
This is not looking good. I mean, Perp is sitting on a anti-organic pulse and a Sestamir. That's a lot of pressure, and Reizuu can't get the cards to develop his own board. He's already gone through like the rummagings that are supposed to like keep the card advantage going, right? Keep drawing cards, keep doing cards. But he's run out of those. Like, and he doesn't have an allocated provisions yet to combo with a Terra Glider that he hasn't seen yet. So it's not looking good.
Yeah. Perp can likely put himself in a position to end this pretty darn soon here. Obviously, the Formidable is gonna, slow down some damage for a turn, but gosh, that just feels so bad. You don't want to do nothing,
Yeah.
but you don't really love just using your turn to like clear that turn with the Formidable. Let's
Agreed.
see. Feels pretty bad.
Gonna bank the Steward. Let's see what he draws. Can we get some hope? Another Steward.
pain.
Oh man. That's
Pain,
not
pain,
it.
pain. That's an M tab that got picked up over there.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean the world is Perp's oyster. So at this point in time, he doesn't quite have enough energy to get the Sestamir down, but everything else is looking solid. Can't really push any damage this turn, but he's building a massive board. Maybe I guess are there poisoners in Reizуу's list?
No, I keep checking.
Hmm.
I keep opening the deck list to see maybe I'll get surprised in there for him to try to see him get out of this, but there isn't.
Yep. A Grawl on that, or sorry, kill switch on that Grawl is clutch too. That could certainly come in handy.
Yeah, he's just Perp's got so many answers right now. Reizuu draws into a caretaker. I mean, it's a good body, but it's still not there yet. And we're going to see. Oh, we're at 7 energy, so no Sestamir just yet, but an MTAV and a probably just MTAV next turn for Perp so
Yeah.
far.
Man, I'd be tempted to just concede here with Reisuu's hand, but I suppose when you're in a tournament, you gotta keep
Gotta
playing
play
it
it
out,
out.
especially if you're down your first game too. But yeah, it's pretty rough. What
I
he
mean,
really needs is like another rummaging researcher. Like he just playing
yeah.
off the top is just not good enough. He needs a couple draws. Have we seen a Wong? I don't know. I don't think we
No,
did.
not
Yeah.
from him.
Let's see, we've got 7 energy this turn.
I think it's point defense turret into a double overclock on the MTAV.
Mm-hmm.
Super clean. Keeps the advantage going.
Gosh, sometimes the Augencore boards, like when they really get going, this is
Yeah.
intimidating. Like the units mid-range, the mid-range units have really good stats and abilities. Like this is quite terrifying.
It's got another Aegis generator, so this guy's gonna keep gaining health and get shielded. Perp's like leaving no stones unturned with the cards that he's playing and
Oh.
how it's working out from him.
Well, an allocated provisions top deck is not what you want to see. Suppose that
No.
he technically could make a massive Primea
All right.
conduit, but oh man,
How much
it's
damage? You're
not-
taking 9, 10, 11, 12? Yeah. So, all right, here we go. You allocated provisions, you full conceal, whatever. Then you hope to draw a Terra Glider. We roll for 8. You hit Attain, and you put Primea Conduit down and put Defender on it.
Sure. Yes.
I don't know.
Miracles happen.
That's the semi dream I'm thinking of. I think you would roll for Tain at this point. You would just need something consistent that can just keep attacking. Maybe get you back in this and comes back every turn.
Yeah.
Perp just has solitary confinement though. He just puts it back.
Yeah. I'm
All right,
sure
I'm
that
moving on to
Reizuu is
play.
doing those types of calculations.
Yeah.
Just like, how can I possibly crawl myself back into this one? But
Oh my, hold the line.
I'm sorry, but like all the top decks there were like 1, 1, 0, 1. I mean, that's just
We don't have to hide. It
Come
was like a very high tier trash in this situation.
high tier trash. Yeah.
Yeah, these are not the draws that you want to be seeing. Meanwhile, we're looking at Perp and it's like solitary confinement, paid off. I don't know, repeater cannon, Sestamir, answer again. He's just like he's coasting.
He's coasting. Yeah, I mean, everything's been going really well for Perp this entire match. I mean, it was just like starting out with Reizuu missing a steward of the garden.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're whiffing that, you're feeling pretty bad. And then these top decks have just been absolutely brutal. The paid off, like stealing the Titan, it's just everything has gone super well for Perp this game. So I think there is actually probably no card from
Yeah.
this point forward that can handle this board. Like
If
even
there
if
wasn't a PS8, you could Terramech Shield Titan into the hold the line, which he
wow.
finally drew. But Perp
Okay.
has PS8 into he has Kill Switch first off. He has PS8 Solitary Confinement second off. He has AOP third off. So like, I think Perp has his options covered. Yeah, you're gonna see a concede game from Reizuu here. Perp gets the matchup that he wanted and is able to get a second win. He just needs one left, and he has the Aishio.
Yeah. All right, there we go. We're gonna get to see our Aishio gameplay. What do you think Reizuu will queue up? I suppose the Kathy maybe. Would
Probably
give it the
Kathy, I think.
most problems. Yeah. let's do that.
You want to be fast against the Aishio for sure. I'm looking at Perp's Aishio list because I remember I was surprised because he's got like the allocated provisions, he's got the Radiant Legions, so he's definitely pushing for this like wide board, and then that combos with like your subjugates and stuff like that. So it's a different variation. We haven't seen anyone at least do this on like on a stage like this yet with Aishio.
Well, if there's anyone that could do it, it would be PURP. He is just consistently bringing the innovative decks, and yeah, I mean, maybe you know, Ashio like has always had potential. I mean, I think certainly if we're in a slower meta, you know, we could see Ashio get some success, but there's never really been, I think, a list that's just been consistent enough, and so I don't know. Perhaps, you know, this type of list could be that, because you know, you have your end game win condition, but you just need other the best combo decks are when you can still win without the combo, right? Because the rest of the deck is good enough. And perhaps with the Radiant Legions, I mean, that's a little slow, but if Ashio just had some, you know, strong early game, then it could be positioned fairly well in the meta.
Yeah, I think so too. What's cool to see from a player perspective is Perp's journey through Parallel. I kind of want to take note on it, right? I think this is the first TCG that he's like been really pushed himself on, and he, you know, since I think he showed up the first open or that we had in last season, got like third place or something. Then he placed really high in a couple other tournaments, made it all the way to Worlds, and now is back here again at top tables. Like, he's definitely proved himself that like he deserves to, you know, sit at these high level, I don't know, tables. From the physical TCG world, you'd say like top tables. I don't know what we say for Parallel, but he's like definitely a top seed player.
Top tables. Teach me. I'm not a physical TCG player. You have to teach me this terminology. Yeah, absolutely. I think I specifically remember the first major, like Perp getting a lot of attention in that. I just have that memory, and so maybe that's when it really started for him.
I think he got second in that one.
Did he get second?
Yeah.
I think he might have.
Yeah, I think he got second in a major, and I think it was the first one against Zarathustra. So yeah, he's been showing up regularly, and I love that, seeing like a player come organically from this game and always make it to the top seeds with like some of these guys from other TCGs that we know have already proven themselves. I think Perp's now proven himself that he deserves to be here.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
And it's interesting because, you know, like spoiler alert, you guys should all tune into the Parallel League podcast because we're back for season 2, because our first episode is with Yarla, coming out next week. But it was interesting because we kind of discussed this concept of like, you know, even really amazing players like Yarla aren't necessarily the ones being the deck builders. Like, being a good deck builder is a completely different skill set, and a lot of the time you see some of the greats, like, they don't necessarily excel there. And so Perp is sort of this interesting, he's got he's performed well in his mechanical skill, but he's also has the ability to innovate. And I don't think that his, you know, deck creations are always knocking it out of the park, but he certainly has a skill set for doing the deck building process, and that's been really really interesting to see. All right, let's get stuck into the Ashio game. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, Reizuu has a chance to try and reverse and sweep this. The Ashio is a deck that hasn't really proven itself yet on, you know, being like a very stable deck to bring to tournaments like this. So if there's a chance for him to come back, this is it. He has to win it with the 3 decks that he has left, which is definitely doable. But like we've been talking about before the match started, Perp is a guy that comes up with these decks that a lot of people aren't thinking of, and comes up with very interesting combos to make them work. So doing it 3 times in a row against a guy like that is going to be tough for Reizuu.
I'm not gonna lie though, I got like a little bit of nervousness just as this match got queued up here, because it would really, like, no favorites, but it would suck to see Ashio just like brick 3 games in a row here, and like it could happen, you know.
Could.
So I'm definitely a little nervous. I think Reizuu has gone first in all of these games, perhaps.
Really? I think so. I think you might be right. I'm looking really quick. I mean, at Reizуу's list, because it's another game where potential slight whiff on turn 2.
Let's see.
That's not good. But looking at Perp right now, he's got the Relying Gamma that he can play on turn 1. Doesn't have the threat of scaling like it does in Scipius, right? Because you don't get the Scipius token. So his turns are going to be pretty tame right now, unless he mills like a Formatician's Exalt, which I should probably shut up because like some of the stuff that I've been saying has been happening.
Yeah. Don't
But
jinx it.
that would be the combo that you want to see if you're perp. But Rizu's got a very strong turn one play with the Trigger Happy Trooper into the Bloodhound. I think he's trying to decide if he just does nothing. Or,
Oh,
he's going to
wow.
actually buff the Trigger Happy here. Interesting.
Man.
I wonder, I'm trying to think. Why do we go for that instead if
I
we're
mean, it has a
Rizu?
favorable trade into the Valorusi standard bearer, right? If it's got
Yes.
the
Yep.
3/3.
I think that's it.
So that's
I think you're spot on.
probably the logic. Yeah.
I think you're
Um,
spot on there.
well, I will say having a Tioli is pretty nice. So it definitely opens up his options a bit here. I don't think you like not develop the gamma to like combo it with the striker next turn. I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
see like a researcher come out, but yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't be shocked if Reizuu takes this because Kathy's is super aggressive, but I will say it's really not the worst hand for Perp, all things
No.
considered, for this type of matchup here.
No, I think honestly it might be a good turn for Perp to consider Tioliing next turn. You Tioli into Rummaging Researcher, play
Hmm.
your allocated provisions, get the free conceal. You get one free conceal now per turn. Then next turn, conceal again for free and play the other Rummaging Researcher. You've now drawn 3 cards.
Yeah, that's actually kind of nuts.
That
That's
feels really good.
that feels pretty darn good. Okay, a
I
Kalar.
think he's doing it. I think we're going straight into that. I think that's the move.
I wonder if we'll just see that standard bearer get banked
Yeah, Standard
because.
Bearer or Kalar. I
Mhm.
think that's you can go either or.
Okay,
But yeah, this is going to
perfect.
be very strong here. And it's like awkward trading for Reizuu now because Reizuu buffed up this Trigger Happy. He only has 1 attack, and it's not going to just immediately clear out the Rummaging like it was going to the Standard Bearer.
Yeah. I do like the logic of making it a 3/3, but yeah. I mean, you let Perp see the game plan, obviously, so he can
Hmm.
kind of play around it, bank the striker. I fortunately for Risu, he's got the rallying cry. If he could get a
Yeah.
couple strong like interrogator or something like that, that could definitely go well for him. But Perp is really setting up this incredible engine of cycling through the deck. And of course, as Atio, that's what you want to be doing. You want to be getting through your deck as fast as possible so you can drop your Atio for 8 and pop to the face for lethal. And it's interesting because it's not always that it's the 30 damage. So sometimes you got to do a little bit of chip
Yeah.
damage to their face, and then before casting the final Atio. So we'll see.
And Rizu's Rallying Cry not hitting a Bannerman and a Bloodhound transport. That's
Oof,
not like entirely what you want to see here.
that's rough, actually.
Yeah, that is a little rough. But I mean, his turns are very easy for him going forward, unless he draws something that will completely steer him in a different direction. But Catherine next, the Triumph of Mars after that. It's very, very straightforward, very strong, and it should be good. On Perp side too, uh, there might be a slight worry about like Rizu just face racing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that might be his best win condition right now.
Yeah,
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, you don't. Do you want to just get the Kalar
that's what I'm
down?
thinking. I was gonna bank it. We're not
Interesting.
playing the Clar. I'm surprised he's holding on to the Exalt.
Mm-hmm. Because you develop the Kalar, it dies, and then in a couple turns, you had the option to bring it back with the Triumph, right?
Yeah,
So I don't know if I really love that bank decision there over either one of the other two, the Effie or the cunning Scipion. Like
yeah.
the
I think he's holding on to the Exalt because he wants to make sure he has a play for next turn.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, you
And he
certainly
wants to stay
cannot.
on curve, and maybe it's more important to draw cards than to uh more important to draw cards and do your game plan, I guess, than to like focus on Rizu's game plan.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. It's a valid point indeed.
I don't know if it's
We'll
right,
see.
but I think it's what
Yeah.
he's doing. I don't know. I like the Kalar over the Exalt.
think I just.
Draw, okay. Just
Ooh,
draw
okay. Master
Poisoner also.
Poisoner could maybe do something. I think I just wanted an answer to the Kathy, but I
Yeah.
suppose it's clearly Reizuu would have cleared it before developing the Kathy, and then there's another couple turns until the Triumph could come down. So,
Yes.
but wow, this I guess this has to be a Kathy turn because you can't really just develop
Yeah.
the Harf, so that's pretty strong.
It's a Kathy turn, and then where you want this to hit face. Like, oh, he's trading. Okay, we're gonna kill off this one. He's thinking.
That's tough. I kind of like face,
Yeah, I
but
like face. I think that's like
it's
you're winning
yeah.
only hitting face going forward now. It's kind of weird, but
I think you're right. I can respect the desire. Oh,
oh, okay. Kathy hits face. That's what you want.
80% of the time she goes face every time. All right. So, we're seeing some mass
Yeah.
clicking there. All right. So we got 4 energy from Perp side here. What can he do?
I think you poison her and you kill like
Yeah,
Kathy and you kill the trigger happy. You
just
just
a
slow
little
down
reset.
Reese's plan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's gonna go for the exalt. He's just sticking to his game plan. You could play the exalt and then just clear off the trigger happy, like let the Kathy take the 25% odds.
I think that's a little wild. I mean, I suppose you're right. That's probably the best game plan here. And there's
Yeah.
also going to be the Legion. I mean, that comes down perhaps the following
Mm-hmm.
turn, and so creating a fairly wide board, right? And that could eat the Kathy hits. So maybe this is just the ignore Kathy plan. And we do know that Reisu's list is not as heavy on the burn. There might be like
Yes.
one Catherine's expertise, but I think if you can just kind of keep the board fairly clear, like finding that extra push could be difficult for him unless Kathy goes face, of course. Interesting. Going with the subjugate. Okay. Huh. Well, I guess I'm a little surprised to not go for like the curve play and the guaranteed draw, getting the
I think
subjugate
it's
down instead.
because he wants a crazy legion next turn. Like he's like, if this
Yeah,
subjugate
okay.
lives, my legion will destroy everything.
He's setting up for it. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Wow, actually that'll be a lot of
That's gonna be
cards.
insane if that goes off.
Well, all right. Are we gonna see a Triumph get cast this turn? I mean, there are definitely other options. I'm so tempted to use that Gunslinger on that 2-1, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's very
Especially
weird.
because you could, yeah, I mean, you could play the Machinist, get the transport, maybe bank that, go Harf and Gunslinger, and then you've got the Harf developed for the Triumph the next turn. Like,
Yes. And it
I
also
think I like
stops
that.
Perp from doing his own triumph, right? You don't really necessarily know. Oh, maybe it's telegraphed because Perp used the 1 energy to full conceal that Radiant Legion is coming down. But I don't
I feel like,
know. I mean,
hmm. I feel like the rest
I
of the
kind of
turn
like
is
your
good
idea
enough
though.
that you could hold back the Triumph. Like, I don't
He's going for it.
know how much I like it.
He's going to need something to be explosive here.
Oh,
Rallying
okay.
cry, that can help.
There you go. That helps a ton.
Yeah, double Alvaro. Doesn't kill off the subject, so we're like depending on the Kathy, 33% chance to stop the mayhem that's going to happen.
Oh man. Yeah, I like playing the second wave soldier. I think you just want to
Just bodies.
keep the pressure
Yeah.
going as much. All right, Kathy, where are you gonna hit?
Long is
Huh?
good refill. It does
Oh,
not hit the subject
oh my
yet.
god.
Oh, we are gonna see a lot of units come on the board. And Reizuu though can does Reizuu do you just go all in on face after this? You have
Yeah, I
3,
think
4,
just
5, 6, 7. You put Perp at 7 health, and then you force Perp to deal with it.
I mean, you
But like
must,
Perp will deal
right?
with it though. Like I don't know.
There's 25 cards left. Like I know there's gonna be a lot of burned off the top here, but I don't even know if like Asio is the game plan. I
No,
mean,
I
like,
don't think so. Not in this
it's
one.
like,
Yeah.
oh man, this is tough. And with the 2 cost Wong in the hand, I think that Reizuu should be able to just find the damage, especially these interrogators. But I suppose there's not that many effects. I mean, if you wanted to cast Triumph, that's certainly annoying. But yeah. All right, here we
How
go.
many we're revealing with Radiant Legion? I think we're close to 5, if not 5. All right,
And
we had the mill and the buff from Subjugate and Ishio's passive, just so you can see.
we probably want to take out one of the interrogators, right? And just let Kathy stay on the
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
Yeah. This is also putting a lot
That's 5.
into the waste as well. So the
That's
Triumph is going to have more options the following turn if he wants to cast that.
This is going to be a fat board.
I wonder if he'll wind up distributing these counters.
Yeah, Reizuu can Wong into a volley. That's a
Yeah.
good way out.
Oof.
He's just full buffing the Subjugate.
I like it. I mean, right now the subjugate is like if he is going for the Acio. I mean, I suppose you probably will need the Acio unless you really can just build so significant of a board here. And
Yeah,
the subjugate is that path, right? So if you can keep it healthy,
yeah.
oof,
Oh,
oof.
double Alvaro burn
Oh,
from
that's
hitting
so
a supply
unfortunate.
cache off the draw.
That is so significant. An extra 6 damage. Oh,
Yeah, that
that's rough.
changes things.
That's rough. I mean, that's almost lethal then. I mean, let's see. He takes out the 3/4. There's 4 damage on the board. Wong could easily buff any one of the other units. Wow. All in on the
I
subjugate. I like it. I mean, I think it's smart.
Yeah, we don't know what's milled. There could be what is in I'm looking at Perp's list right now. Are there finishers aside from what we know? No like Drusians or anything like that or kill boxes.
I actually wonder if you could sneak one of those in
Maybe.
to this list because if you're running 3 of the Radiant Legions, like that might be the extra little win condition to not rely on Acio, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
All right, here we go. Wong, can we find something? We find a Triumph. Not enough energy to play though. Alvaro just to burn? Like in case
Just
Perp
to make
draws
it.
another cash?
All right, this is also significant if it's okay, 6?
Yeah, that's 6.
Like if it had buffed Kathy or the Wong, that would have been frustrating. That's kind of good enough. Is there
I
another
think
Bloodhound transport in the list?
yeah, we just saw one go back in the deck.
Yes, you're right. So, and that
Yeah.
would be no, that wouldn't be the second unit in the turn.
No.
So it's just 6 right now.
Yeah. 6 damage. Kathy can end the game. Alvaro double Alvaro burning into a supply cache could end the game.
Well,
The
how
real
much damage does
question is, does
Perp
Perp
have?
have?
Yeah,
Yes. Now we're
same
thinking like
same wavelength there. Let's see, 13, 19, that's 20. Oh,
Okay.
surely. I mean, it's
He can
it's
Can we
the
get to
interrogators that
27?
are the problem. Uh, oh, he's not going
Wait.
face.
Wait, but you can 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Sorry, 16 damage. Okay, do you mass conceal, bring back Radiant Legion again? Is that enough damage? 16
Oh, that's
plus
wild.
16 plus how much is that? 7? No, it's not enough. 23.
16. 16. That's so
It's
that's a
23.
lot
It's
of
not
damage
enough.
that he needs to find. And like you run the risk of like because the 2 interrogators are still on the board. Oh
Yeah, he's already
wow.
started trading too.
Okay.
Poisoner will clear off this board. Reizuu doesn't have the burn finishers to deal with this.
This is wild. I mean the Kathy. I mean, you have to take out the Kathy. The Kathy could have just ended it though. Like if he had gone
Yeah,
face,
yeah.
and taken that crazy like 1 out of 9 or 10 or whatever it was, that would have been interesting. But uh this is putting Perp in a pretty darn good position. I mean, 6 health is certainly enough. Like that is you're not dead to just like one top deck of an expertise. Like that looks pretty darn good.
This is I think, man, this shows how strong Poisoner is, right? It makes sense why they're nerfing it. It's just re-sweeping everything back. Reizu's now left at has to like try and win off a Triumph of Mars.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything? I don't think there is. I don't think there's enough burn in his list. I mean, especially like all of the interrogators I think have been pulled out. Not that that's immediate burn, but let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's any more. That subjugate still standing strong. He went full send on the subjugate. It was a good call. Actually, it's kind of displaying how cool the Legion is of a card. Like people
love this.
have been putting like one in here and there,
Yeah.
in Scipius lists sometimes, but it's actually quite a strong card. And comboed with the allocated provisions, like this was actually a really cool series. Thanks, Perp, for innovating on the list here. Like this is fascinating.
Yeah, hits the Exalt with the mill. You said Acio is not the game plan. It might be.
I mean, here's the thing. I think without the burn, I think that Reizuu might just lose this even without the Acio. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
look, there's how much 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 damage on the board. I mean, I would love to see the Acio get cast, but this is what I'm saying is that the rest of the deck needs to be strong enough where you have a
he's
win
milling
condition.
another card.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And he's
This
just
is-
drawing caches. I think. Is there Tiolis in this list? There is, right? There's one
there
more
might be.
Tioli.
I don't know. I don't have it
There's
in
only
front
one
of me.
Tioli played, right? That started the rummaging researcher. I don't know how many cards are real in this deck left.
Wow, there's like basically no burn, but like kinda the gunslinger being like probably one of the few cards that does some direct damage left. But it's not enough. Yeah, is there an expertise? That's the question.
I think there's an expertise left.
Oh my god.
That-
Oh my god.
Yeah, he needs to hit a Catherine's expertise right now.
I think there is one. Oh no, wait. I think we just saw it hovered in. Is that waste or bank? Hold on.
I don't know. 1, 2, 3, not it.
Researcher? I'm fairly confident we just saw it, like he hovered, so I don't think it's in there. But let's see.
Okay.
Yes, he banked the expertise.
Yeah, he
that was all
banked
the way
it.
on the
He
left
banked
there.
it. Because he only
Yep.
has one in his deck.
Then he's cooked, I think, right? That's got.
I mean, mate, I don't say anything too soon, but I'm leaning on he's cooked.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Maybe
Oh,
you
well,
get.
hang on a darn second.
Yeah, he
We
killed the
got-
subjugate, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
But Poisoner just like clears what's left. You don't get anything off the memento.
Hang on. Okay, so we got 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. So not enough to get there with damage from perp. Okay, then maybe we do need the Acio. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I think this is Acio gaming, but like Reizuu has one turn, maybe 1 or 2 turns left. Because I think most of Perp's deck is supply caches. I don't know if that's true. I have not been like tracking, but it's the feel I have.
Well, with the Poisoner on the board, he just needs to, unless he
It got snitched. It did get snitched.
Oh, it got snitched. Never mind.
Okay.
Oof.
Does not hit. We do have a Magna.
Well, Magnus still.
Magna
do
sets
what?
it up, right? It sets up Acio next turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Magna nerfed a little bit. It will only ever do 3 damage right now. Rip. One of my favorite cards in the game got nerfed. But still enough to be able to clean up this board. I mean, Reizuu Perp needs to leave Reizuu with no options whatsoever.
Yeah.
And should be okay here.
He needs the full clear here. I don't know how Reizuu does 5 damage next turn.
I can't think of any out. I mean,
Yeah.
we've discussed it many times, but Risu's list doesn't have a ton of burn. It's more unit heavy with the Catherine's expertise for the mid game, and the one burn I think is the Catherine's rallying cry for the mid game, and the expertise was banked here. So I'm fairly confident there's nothing left for him, but we
Yeah.
will see. He's still got 11 cards left here.
I'm like shaking. Like this is crazy. What a crazy game.
This has been very exciting. I just want
Yeah.
to say, first match of the day. This has been hype. I know it might be a 3-0 here, but I feel like all of the games were like pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately for Reizuu, a lot he couldn't perform. Like it's just like the deck wasn't drawing what it needed to.
Yeah,
And
actually, that
PURP has
Nehemiah
been
game was
drawing
rough
well. Yeah.
for
But
him.
I mean,
Good
in
point.
this game, an Acio upsetting a Kathy, that's kind of big. We did see some like lackluster rallying cries out of Reizuu, and
Mhm.
I think like turn twos for both times he played Kathy weren't that great. But yeah, purpose set up lethal. Like Reizuu has to win next turn.
Let's see what's it gonna be. I
Remember when
mean,
these
yeah,
allocated provisions used to roll like sabotage supply caches? What if there's like
yeah,
enough in there
yeah.
and he
Like
just perp just
that's what
killed
I'm
himself for
thinking. Is
12
that is there
turns?
some kind of like crazy scenario? He like fatigues himself, and I don't think that's the thing
I
here.
don't think that's it.
Oh,
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 hold on though. Perp might have stopped himself. Well, he probably just has lethal on the board. I'm not doing the math, but
no,
yeah.
it's
Oh my
done.
god, Reiz's gonna concede. Perp 3-0.
Wow.
He takes out the Kathy with his Acio.
That was unexpected. I thought for sure like that Kathy was going to get the win there and we were going to see, Perp have a couple more chances to win with the Acio, but winning that is unfavored for sure. Kathy should theoretically be able to take down the Acio. So that was wild. That was a very, very exciting match. And I'm trying to think of like where the turning point was in that match. And I think it might have been his development of the subjugate, right? And it not being able to be answered, and then into the Legion turn. And that just like made it kind of a crazy, crazy game.
Yeah. Like the turns out of Perp's yeah, the turns were just really good. We saw him coin into researcher, then play researcher, then an Acio subjugate got to live, then he comboed that with a Radiant Legion. That's what you want to see. And what's really cool is that's not what Acio typically plays. That's all like perp sauce. Like him
Perps,
taking his own
perp
spin
sauce.
on the Acio there, which is like gets me so excited too, right? He played it a different way and it
Yeah.
worked out like extremely well for him.
I'm in between matches here. I think I'm gonna take it to ladder while the other casters cast. I'm gonna queue up some games and try it out, see how it goes. But no, that was very exciting. Unfortunate for Risu. I think you're totally right. A few of those games, like especially that Nehemiah one, he just bricked like one drop after one drop, top decking in the like mid to late game, and that just
Yep.
wasn't gonna get him there. So I will say, yeah, I said it earlier, but the force seems to be with Perp for this tournament so far. A lot of those games were really pretty, how he curved out and drew well. He played well. So big congrats to Perp for continuing on. And yeah, I think we might be ready here to swap into some new matches, but that was super exciting.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm very happy that we saw those games because it was different. Like we saw Perp take some high risk things on the deck making, as well as like some of the gameplay stuff with like the paid off to try and steal like a Terramech right out the gate. So that was really cool. All right, we have the updated bracket here for you guys too. Perp and BlizzCon Jan showing up in style today.
The little terror. The narrative is getting built, all right? He's starting 3-0, starting strong. Now he can finally compete. Definitely scared to see him and looking forward to seeing some of his matches. And, the other ones, I suppose, are taking a little bit more time here. But I also want to give credit. This is the team lead artwork, right? Is this the team lead?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It looks fantastic for the imagery for the league right now. I just want to say it looks dope.
I love it. Like these guys, team lead, the muscle, and I think that's the hacker to the right on the artwork. and those guys are I don't know, they're the gang.
I believe that Feno is also streaming his match against Malston right now, so I don't think that one's done.
Yeah, I
So.
mean, even on the ADHQ side, like Zarathustra is running it. Oh, we were just going straight
Oh
into it.
yes,
They
yes,
just
yes,
put it
yes.
down for us. All right, so we're seeing Malston's POV here. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, this is like late game. This is late game.
Mhm.
Brand's already done. Shoshana is still available, but Malston's got looks like nothing in terms of resources yet. He has to top deck something in the 11 cards left.
It's always nice to see Feno on brand too, because he's kind of known for being a really good brand player and
Yep.
hasn't had the opportunity to kind of shine with the brand in a while because it hasn't been uh meta really. So this is quite fun, but I would have to imagine that this is not the matchup you want to see a Shoshana going into the Shroud. That's gonna be tricky. Where does the with the Shoshana list? I mean, I know Lambie's been playing it and it's been getting more popular, but like where is it really shining? Like what's brought it on the map, Muka? Do you know? Like
Yeah,
anything in particular?
it's better into like the aggro matchup. So Cathy's and your Sippies, it can handle
Hmm.
those better than Nehemiah can. Where it struggles a little bit is like against the mirror match. Like it's far weaker than Nehemiah because Nehemiah
Right.
is making use of defenders a lot more. It can be aggressive and defensive at the same time. But Shoshana is like a list where you can run a lot of like value cards because you have so much health and you can take some hits. Like there's
Yeah.
double solitary confinement in a lot of these lists, logistic support cruisers being played.
Oh, I
Um,
love that.
those are
I
like cards
miss
that
my
don't really see too
LSDs.
much play. Yeah, stabilized shard. Like it's a very kind of like it's not very, but slightly different take. Just because you can eat some of the damage, and then the aggro decks because they're so unit oriented eventually run out
Hmm.
of gas. You play your Paragon and you're chilling. Like even right now, like Malston's like pretty behind on board, but if there's like a spores or something, you can eat a few turns of damage, spores, and then play your Shoshana and heal back, and it's a different game.
Yeah. Uh oh, there's the Titan pickup.
There's a
Okay.
Titan.
See. Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying there. I mean, I could see the Kathy matchup being great for the Shoshana. I would think that Scipius could still give it some problems, but maybe after all the like slight nerfs to Scipius, like it's just position Shoshana well enough. The thing that I struggle with Shoshana is like in this instance of like a Shroud matchup is that you know, they can do it, or Shoshana can do a great job of surviving, but you still kind of need that win condition to close out the end of the game. And I feel like she might struggle there a little bit. But, we've got things like the Titan here,
Yeah.
obviously, an insane card. So we'll
I
see.
think Fino, like, what are these guys right now? I'm gonna pull up the record. I think it's 1-1. I think Fino wins this. Um,
I would
just
have to think Fino
looking.
wins this from this point,
Yeah.
but.
And then he's got Nehemiah left, so Malston will run into that issue that I spoke about. Like
Hmm.
Shoshana versus Nehemiah is tough. He does have an ADHQ ready. ADHQ does well normally into Nehemiah. With the Vindicator nerf, it's a little bit harder because like the Vindicator was a one card answer to Nehemiah. It's not anymore because it lost one attack.
True. That's actually quite significant. Mm.
100%. All right, he's activating the flourish on the Terramech Shield Titan, so he'll get some good trades here. Spores also triggering.
Let's see. I mean, technically, Fino's got the 2 effect answer
Yes.
to the Titan.
And then he
Doesn't
can
feel
get it
great to
zoned.
throw, the 7 energy into it, but I think you might have to at this point. Oh, well, a demo, a lovely pickup as well. Wow, do you want to hold on to your demo or do you want to use your 2 single targets to answer this? That's the question.
Mm,
Hmm.
that's actually very interesting.
I think well, okay, with 10 energy, you can do the double spell with the researcher and get all the other triggers from the
Yeah,
original
I think
researcher. So
I
that
mean,
has
you
to
could
be
probably
better.
find something cheaper too, right?
Yeah. And the demo is just such high value card. Like if we find Terra Gliders here and, more cards come on the board, you're going to want that demo in your hand. Let's see. 2 unseen allies. Man, I actually kind of miss playing Brand. I'm seeing this gameplay and I'm like, oh, it's always been
How
my
dare
least
you as a
favorite
Nudon
of
player?
of the Paragons, but that's doesn't matter. Shad's still my fave. Okay. Yeah, he's in a great position here. Gets to punch a little extra face damage after answering the threat. And of course, Shoshana can come down and reset, but I don't know. Doesn't do enough, I think, most of the time here against a deck like Brand. Okay.
Just
See.
waiting to see. Like, this is one of those games where I just like, just show me what you guys draw. We don't. We already don't. Oh, that's not good. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we. What is our new tagline for this one? Is if someone's not winning, is they're cooked.
They're cooked, yeah. Quinto's the master of coming up with the one-liners of the
Yes,
tournaments, I feel like. What else? What was his old one that he says?
it's Jover.
Yeah, Jover, yeah, yeah. And Quinto's been saying cooked in the in the Discord, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's true. Yeah, I mean, so we see the Shoshana get cast here, heal back up, but without like a really strong follow-up, Brand's just gonna be able to smack him back down. And with 2 unseen allies in the hand and 8 cards in the singularity. Oh wow, yeah, the UI is a little different with the update, so that singularity's glowing the purple there. And I will
yeah,
say, just to talk about the UI real quick, like I love that we can see the board a little bit more, or the artwork of the
yeah. It's
looks extra cool.
the field backs look nice. Like,
Field backs.
I love the approach to brighten them up, and I hope
Hmm.
for like the future ones we get. I actually would like to see a little more detail out of them. Like right now, they're
Yeah.
like kind of like the blurred landscapes and stuff, which are they're nice because they give that like they let the cards shine. But it would be cool to just have like a little bit of identity to them more and see like what's behind there as you're playing the cards. I don't think it takes too much away from the game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, let's see what he's shuffling in some caches. Playing the unseen allies, formidable 6, 7, 8. Just probably gonna use it, I suppose, to
Yeah.
answer the
The unseen
Shoshana.
allies are definitely the card now that are just gonna push Feno over the edge. Like if it was just Demo, okay, fine, it's still kind of slow, or like any of these banish cards. But because he has 2 unseen allies, that's 4 turns of playing cards from your singularity. So that's gonna be a ton of pressure. I don't think Malston can come back from that.
And man, and look, he's even got of course, banishing the Titan. Gets
Yep.
into his singularity. So if he wants to bring that out next turn, certainly can. And it'd be one thing if Feno was low on life here and Malston could just kind of go for like formidable top deck push type of stuff for lethal, but he's nowhere close to that.
Yeah.
And Feno's just building an absolutely uh, monster of a board. So I think Malston's out of this, but
Yeah.
it's only 1-1.
It's
Yeah.
1-1.
Yeah.
The Nehemiah might be. Let's see. I'm gonna look at the list real quick before I jump to conclusions. But I'm just like worried if for Malston here. Like I don't think he'll have a good matchup. Like the ADHQ probably does fine, but Feno definitely looks like he's ahead, and I think he's probably winning this match was probably really important. He's probably chilling after this one, like mentally at least. Malston is the one who's gonna have to do like some like making himself calm, not get like tilted or stressed about the rest of the set.
Yeah. Okay, researcher is something, but man, there are three three researchers on the board for Feno. The interesting thing is that, like, you can always choose to pass, right? So like burning your opponents of their cards isn't really a thing. Because Feno has the option to not draw here. Okay, so Leah.
Activating
Okay.
some caches. Soleo like kills off like the corrupted vision, I guess.
See, how much damage does Feno have on the board here without the seeds? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
The Wong,
14.
I think dies to decay. I think they're him and the rummaging researcher to the left of it might have decay.
Okay, yep. Not quite enough. Hmm. It was actually quite clutch to have the Formidable there because, one pop of the Shoshana face, like, could have done a little bit of work. So that was nice to be able to prevent that damage and then find an answer to it.
What are
The
we
tournament card
trying
back
to
would be real
draw?
cool. Let's see. Yeah, we'll probably want to get that, I guess, Solia developed, or I almost
I
want
just
to.
realized the tournament card back. It is cool.
Yeah, I love it.
That thing looks sick.
Okay. Solia gonna take out, I suppose, yeah, the Corrupted Vision, just like taking away power on the board. And if you
Yeah.
are correct in that the left two have decay, then there's not that much damage on the board here. We got 6, but again, the Unseen Allies is it still active from last turn,
Oh,
or
I
was
guess
that?
they don't.
Yeah.
Why did I think they had decay? I thought I saw
Yeah,
spoiled
I was gonna
animations
say I
or
didn't
things.
see the animation, but
Yeah.
yeah. All
This is
right.
this is crazy. He's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna Terramech and trigger Flourish."
That's the thing about Shroud is you
Yeah.
can, assume whatever parallel you want to be sometimes.
Sometimes Shroud is the better player of that parallel than even that parallel.
Yep. Um. Well, he's developed the Titan, and I would say that Malston's gonna need to stall, like with a formidable presence or something here. Uh,
I don't know what he can do. He's gonna lose his Shoshana to the Flourish trigger.
mhm.
He's just lost his Saleya. He's gonna lose a Rummaging.
Going for the trades. Okay. Um.
Triggering Flourish on Terramech Shield Titan there. Probably has enough for another heal. Yep. We'll be able to kill off
He's
the
gonna
Rummaging.
clear the
We're
rest
just
of this.
yeah.
I would love to just go face so that he's like only one hit really away from lethal next turn, but it shouldn't be a problem. I don't think he's gonna struggle here. Hmm.
Don't think Malston really has a way out of this. Looks like definitely feels like it's Feno's game.
Allocated provisions also no, sorry. Allocated provisions not in the brand. He yoinked that from the singularity.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
look, Wong can get cast next turn from Malston here. Maybe there's something in the list. Okay, yes, I like the hit space there, as opposed to trying to like clear off the caretaker or something. Shoshana gets taken out, as well as the researcher.
Is there a Terra in this build? There
I
is.
don't know.
There is.
Okay. Well,
I mean, that's
3 cards is a nice pickup. He
yeah.
gets to get the relic and the effect in the unit there.
What is
See how
Wong
many cards it
buffing? Okay.
can conceal some of the cards to go for. What do you think he goes
How much
for
can
with
he
the
do right
paraglider?
now? There's 4 revealed, so 6. You do 1 for free, you go for 7? Or do you go for the Terramech Shield Titan? Again.
I
I actually
mean, I
don't
don't
know the
know. I
answer to
guess
this one.
I feel like the Titan. I mean, if there's already an opposing Titan on the board, I'm not sure what would be the best thing to go for. I mean, there is a hold the line, and then also you've got the relic removal too, so you could get another flourish trigger.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, we're going for the Terra. 50-50 on the Terra. We gotta wait for all these
I like
prompts
it.
to trigger. Fino has to go through 3 rummaging researchers.
They've definitely
Oh, that's
improved. Oh,
Terra.
okay, got the Terra. Let's
Okay,
go.
hold up.
Yeah,
Hold up,
I
hold up, hold
mean,
up, hold up, hold up, hold up. No, we don't have enough. he doesn't have enough damage, right, to just hit face. No, there's a defender. Does he?
Wait, hang on a second. Is there a defender?
No, I don't think so.
No. Hang on a darn second. Well, no, it's only the caretaker
You
that can.
can't. Yeah, yeah. It's only the caretaker that can attack. If
Yeah.
there was a second unit, I was like, maybe there's enough. But there's a lot of healing triggers that can happen right now.
There are. That's true. I mean, that's actually a really good point. Like Terra could do some serious work here with buffing the stats of this entire
Yeah.
board.
But the problem is, Feno has demos. Feno can just answer this.
Yeah. I love how we're. I mean, it sucks to blow up your own board, but if you
Yeah.
answer this, like, there's no other possible
Because he has
way.
another unseen allies, so he's
Yeah.
still gonna be chilling. He hits a Saleya. That's a nice hit.
Yeah, definitely a nice hit. But you're absolutely right. With that demo in the hand, Malston's got no shot, then can just cast the Unseen Allies again,
Mhm.
can get the other Titan back out. It's all good. But in theory, though, without the demolecularizes, I feel like the going for the Terra was better than going for the Titan. Like
Yeah.
leaning into the wideness of the board here, going for the stats. Well,
I
I guess
agree.
he's been summoning other ones, so maybe okay.
Maybe he buffs now.
Citrine Rose.
Placement kind of
Putting up a
matters.
fight. He's trying. He's definitely trying.
Yeah. This is like the go big or go home turn. Unfortunately, we know the answer to what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if there was a turn to push, this was it. He can probably mass conceal here. Or is he just gonna buff?
I mean, maybe if he's looking for one more unit, you go for the relic repurposing. Kill something there. Yep. How many defenders? Okay, the Wong currently has defender. So
Two
does the
defenders.
Terra. Yeah. Sure, Feno wants to just end it with the attack, but I think
Mhm.
these defenders might extend the game a bit more here.
Another unit. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Wow.
This if there was
Wow.
no Devo, this would have been the craziest Terra turn I've seen. Like
Oh man.
we
like-
started with a Wong and a caretaker.
That's so true. Started from the bottom, now we here. Look at this.
That's insane. Any other matchup, this would have been one of the craziest Terras I've
Yeah.
ever seen. Hit Saleya, hit Citrine Rose, hit Terramex Shield Titan.
Yeah. Well, that's
But,
what Shroud does best, you know?
yeah.
It's makes your opponents think they have a chance, and then completely demoralizes them by just banishing everything into the singularity.
Yeah, Feno's gonna be like, that was a sick turn, dude. Let me just hold my demo real quick.
Yeah, nice turn, bro. And then it's true. But yeah, I will say hats off though to Malston because I was thinking he could have gone for like stats a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
but he went full send on summoning the units, which definitely like I mean, judging by the state of this board, I suppose he could have gotten a little unlucky, but I think you had to put yourself in the best position there, and he did, but won't be good enough.
Very close. I think Feno's trying to decide, like, does he not demo?
Ain't no way, right?
No, I think he demo like
There's
every
like-
day. You got two demos, like you can make the mistake and demo one too early and you're fine.
I would never let Feno live it down if he did not demo this board. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
I don't think there is. I think he was trying to think of like an unseen ally play. Maybe there's something there, but this plus unseen allies next turn is like full on GG's.
Poor Malston. It was such a good turn.
That was a very
But he had
strong
to
turn.
expect it, though. I mean, if there's
Yeah.
2 demos left and there's only, 8 cards, like, he knew it was coming.
Yeah,
But
you just
he
play to
did
your
it.
outs. You see if he has it. If he has it, it is what it is. But if not, then that's where it pays off. So kudos to him for making the play. Yeah, that's not.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think this might be where Malston just kind of gives
I
up.
think he's
But
gonna
we'll
play
see.
it out though.
Love that change where, a little bit quicker on the animations for the concealing. Quite tedious before.
I think they're gonna get even faster.
Hmm? This is the point in the game where we could theorize on outs, but I think
It's like what's in your waist. All his power cards are in Feno Singularity.
yep. Yeah, that's so true. Can't even really get those back, huh?
No, unfortunately.
And with the follow-up Unseen Allies too, he's just got options for days. He's got 16 cards in the Singularity. I think there's probably 2 Titans in there, right?
Yeah. There's 100% 2 Titans in there and a Terra.
Yeah, brutal. Absolutely brutal. Man, I was like feeling taking Asio to ladder, and now I'm like, wait, Brand feels kind of good. I haven't played that in a minute. Maybe I should.
Well,
maybe
Brand has been battle tested and is working on ladder. I can tell
Yeah.
you that. Like people are playing Brand and they're getting good results. All right, we're seeing
All the
caches
supply
being
caches.
drawn. Yep. Just keep them coming. Keep the supply caches coming.
I believe it might be Feno's
Okay.
birthday today too. I don't know if it's the
No
actually today.
way.
Is it?
Are we
I don't
gonna
know,
see a
maybe.
repeat where like his teammate Tyler, like he won
Yeah,
on his
that would be
birthday?
cool.
Feno's gonna win on his birthday.
It's very, very close. He's having a party too. He's like playing a tournament, and he's got people in the background having a party on his birthday. Let's go, doing it in style. All right, we're gonna see this Unseen Allies get cast here. I mean, that is take your pick. What do you want to develop? Look at that Singularity.
That
Oh
is a
my gosh.
crazy spread. That is a crazy spread. All right, Malston's giving it one more turn to see what happens.
And he's even got a treacherous scheming to yoink anything, but anything that Malston plays that's high value right now will just be played off the top. All right.
We're just gonna wait for all these caches to pop. I don't think there's much left. I don't think there's anything left for Malston, but maybe he sees something we don't.
All right. All the caches.
So many.
Da-da-da. I feel like I need
Need music.
I need like a cache song or something for this, that we just can queue up and play whenever we get into this situation.
More caches.
Actually, people used to do that in Hearthstone. They would make funny little edits with music to certain interactions and cards. So maybe we gotta pull that out for some of the YouTube content for Parallel.
Yeah. I used to watch Hearthstone Brawl compilations of like fails. Hearthstone
Oh,
Brawl
interesting.
fails. It was one of my favorite things. And just seeing like players be like, what the heck just happened? But there we
Yeah.
go. Feno gets the win in that match. They are 2-1. Right? We're gonna step away from that though.
So we're back for the Open #1 with a 10K prize pool, and I'm here with my co-caster Lambi. Such a pleasure, Lambi, to be here casting with you today. How are you feeling about what we have seen in this tournament?
What's up, everyone? How's it going? Lambi series here. As you can see, Quinto and I are twinning. Yes, we planned this. Hope you like it. Prime hoodie right there. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna be very honest. This top 16 so far has been really exciting for me. I've been a fan of a lot of these players, and of course, this particular matchup, I am very, very excited. Firstly, we get to see imcute. I don't think he's been featured on stream before, right? But he's a pretty good player in the game, and of course, veryfatcat, who is my personal practice partner. I've been practicing with this person for the last 6 months, and our results have been pretty stellar. So this match is going to be very, very exciting for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We have seen some crazy decks running around, especially from PURP. The classic PURP using the off-meta stuff and tweaking it in a way that's really nice. And we see here the bracket.
Yeah, so just a quick rundown of the bracket. PURP, as you saw on stream, he won versus Reizuu 3-0. Going to be playing against Axie Win next. Meat Value still waiting for his next opponent. Meat Value is, I think, a new player in the game, but a relatively strong player as well. And of course, the match we are casting, veryfatcat versus imcute. Last but not least, BlizzCon Yan making it into the top 8, waiting on the match between Tony and Zarathustra. BlizzCon Yan, another one to seriously watch out for. He's like what I would like to call young savage. He's a really young kid, really talented. Hopefully you can see more of him in this season for sure.
Yeah. So what do you think about who's gonna advance to the top 4?
Wow.
From this list.
Alright, just throwing random opinions out there without checking the deck list out too much. I think PURP will advance, I think Meat Value will advance, I think veryfatcat will advance, and I think BlizzCon Yan will advance. But of course, that is just pure speculation. I have no exact idea for sure. But yeah, I think all these players have definitely deserved to be in this spot. Like they prepared well and they played well. Of course, we will get to see the deck list in a bit, and I think you'll be very excited to see some of this deck list. I'm very sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have seen Meat Value here as a new player. As I was telling in the pre-show, he's really new to the game. Started playing like 2 months ago, and he's already. He was like instantly master as soon as he started playing. So, do you know him from before? Since you said like he's gonna advance.
I mean, I say that based on 2 games I've played against him on ladder, and I could tell he was really good. I know I think he came from Axie or something. I don't know him personally, but he feels like one of those players. Like last year, September, when Koji put up the bounty for new players, like we saw the Fat Cats, the Gonkras, the BlizzCon Yans. Like he feels like he's that breed of player that's just been good at card games and then comes into parallel and continues to be good at card games, So I think he might be that breed of player. I don't know for sure like how exactly good he is, but that's why we have a whole season to check these players out, right?
Yeah, for sure. Watching so many of them, some old names and some new names, being in this Prime Open is definitely exciting. It's like there's a bunch of names just piling up into the fray of such good players. Like I've seen it since the beginning. Like we had little drops of good players, then came a flood with you, Tyler, Feno, all the pros from Hearthstone, and now we're just getting a bunch more. So it's been really exciting to watch in that regard.
Yeah, Quinto, I just want to ask as well, like, do you have a personal favorite in this tournament? Like, if you were to root for one person to win it all, who would it be?
Well, definitely BlizzCon Jan. It's a personal favorite. And it seems we have ready the list, the veryfatcat's list.
All right.
So we can
so
go on to
veryfatcat's deck list. Firstly, he's not fat and he's not a cat, so that's a bit weird already. But no, I'm just kidding. But so I prepared a veryfatcat's list, so I can give you a pretty cool breakdown of the Earthen here. I think one thing that we really want to take note of is outside of the standard list that this looks like, it has 3 Altar of Gaias. We don't see that very often. Triple Altar of Gaia is a very big shout out to obviously being favored in the mirror match, right? Because Altar of Gaia allows you to have so much swings in that matchup, like powerful swings. Other than that, we see the one-off Maya's Mensa. I think a few other players are doing it as well because now there is no real very easy answer to opposing Terramax. So instead of trying to kill it or remove the defender, you just play the Maya's Mancer and remove every keyword and just go face for the lethal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I think we can in general, I think Fat Cat has brought what I would call like the good decks lineup, as you could see from like his next deck list as well, and basically all his deck list. Yeah, so we see the Neve. A lot of people are, I think, debating mainly between Neve or Bren, which is like the better Shroud, right? Like you can tech Bren to be better in the Shroud matchup. But I think the thing about Neve is that we cannot deny the power of Neve's Dominion. You know, this game has so little AoE effects right now in the early and mid game, and Neve's Dominion is just a very powerful swing to get you back on board if you like fall behind.
Yeah, he's facing against a Brand, so we will see who's the better Shroud. Definitely.
Yeah, and I think Fat Cat's next deck list, if I'm not wrong, is the I think it's the Cathy deck list. Yes, good old reliable Cathy, right? Everybody knows how Cathy plays. You go 1 into 1+1, and then you just go from there. One of the decks that I feel is impossible to really brick with, right? Because it's such a consistent 1-cost deck. And of course, we see again Fat Cat being very eager on not losing the Earthen matchup with triple Master Poisoner. This is something that's been popping up recently in Cathy list. We saw at Worlds there was like 2 Poisoners in each deck list, and now Fat Cat is going for the whole 3.
Yeah, sounds good. And no burn in this list. We have seen the side effects of that. What are your thoughts regarding no burn here?
I mean, I kind of like it, right? Because burn usually is meant to close out the game. You don't really like it in the middle of the game because it's not really tempo. I mean, personally, I would be fine running like 1 or 2 pieces of burn. But no burn is, I guess, shout out to like just never wanting to lose the board and just winning from there. So I think I kind of get it as well.
Yeah, good shout out there. The Tempo King.
The Tempo King, yes. The king of the tempo, for sure. Last but not least, Fat Cat's last deck would be the Sippy. Good old reliable. I think a lot of top players all think Sippy is the best deck. Some say Cathy, and it's I think kind of close. No interesting real spice here, right? No Galleon Orators, Sedge, no Galis, no Romas. You know, all these cards got kind of a bit buffed. Just good old reliable, flood the board and win with your Qatari clones.
Yeah. What are your thoughts regarding the Recruiter? Like, I've seen this in the ladder lately. Everyone's running the Recruiter plus the Princeps, a couple of Princeps, and the Domina only as convergence. So, what is going on there?
Well, I'm a very big fan of that actually, because at the end of the day, Recruiter is really just in the list so that you have continuity. Like if you like get cleared on the board, or like you just like run out of cards, right? Recruiter being played and allows you to just continue to generate card advantage. And I feel like a deck like Sippy, you never really want to not play cards, you know. So Recruiter just gives you fuel permanently. The small convergent package I think is fine because there's not a lot of very fantastic convergence in the game after the Centurus got nerfed, right? So you just play a small convergent package just to get your recruiters to be able to draw 2 cards often enough. And I think one of the biggest things about recruiters is it searches or tutors very often a lot of your blue cards, which is like if you need a Drusian to end the game, Recruiter maybe can find that. You need a Magna to end the game, maybe Recruiter can find that. You need a Radiant Legion to flood the board, maybe Recruiter can find that. Yep. So I kind of like the fact that it searches your blue good cards when you need them.
Yeah. My thoughts too. Well, really good analysis about veryfatcat's deck. We can move on to imcute.
The funny thing is, imcute's decks are actually very, very interesting. So we see this list. I see straight up the smuggled supplies, right? This is I think a shout out to PURP's amazing deck that he used to get to the top cut, right? He ran a lot of burn and some like review mechanics to grab the burn from his bank if he needs to with the smuggled supplies. This list is, I think, I would say it just has the early game of Cathy, which is solid, and then it's a lot better at finishing off the game. You know, you have better top decks. Of course, with more burn in the list, it just means less like maybe mid-game threats, you know. So I'm very interested to see how this one plays out versus some of the other decks.
Yeah, I really like the armor support vehicle here. You get it from a Cathy's Rallying Cry, or just play it second, and then you have an insane unit up there in the early game that can really slow things down for your opponent and set up the tempo. Really nice list here from imcute.
Yeah, the 2 mana 1/4 ASV, as you've said, it's so good, right, versus aggro, because the health total is just high enough that it very often doesn't die on board if you just play it on curve. So could be pretty good to wall off some threats. The brand list, of course, I would say pretty standard with a good amount of belts, demos, and schemings. I think, yeah, schemings, right? I cannot really see. Yeah, schemings are in the list. Schemings are really important versus Shroud in particular. And when I was testing brand as well, I feel like just adding schemings to the list allows us to have a decent matchup into other Shrouds as well. Not too much to say about brand. I think it's just the other Shroud that is very reliable and good into this field. It's really great into Earthen, and Brand himself as a Paragon. If you don't have an immediate answer to it, it will farm the board. Like Brand himself is like one of the ways you get back versus aggro.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like imcute just has the same decks as PURP, like really similar lists. I'm seeing here from imcute.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if they're prepared together. I know their ASHO lists are slightly different, which we will see in a bit. So yeah, I think that's it for the brand. We can move on to the next deck list of imcute, which is, like we said, the ASHO. So I was looking at PURP's ASHO a little bit, and that one had relics, right? Which basically was trying to replicate a bit of like the Sippy game plan. But this one doesn't, Quinto. Quinto, are you experienced with ASHO at all? Because this is one of my least played decks in the game right now.
Yeah, I've actually played it many times. The ASHO we see here, yeah, it's a bit different. We see the disassembly swarm, the enraged beast also.
Whoa.
How do we fare with that gigantic beast in this deck? Like, what's the purpose of it?
I mean,
just
it's
to
surely
stack stats.
Maybe. I mean, it's surely a beast of a card, right? Like, I'm pretty sure most of the time you get to use it with Moritus. Like, Moritus copying the stats of the Enraged Beast, making it like a 11-11, and then tagging a Subjugate effect onto it. It's basically the world's most unkillable Subjugate. It's something that I would like to believe. So I can see it. I can see it for sure. I'm actually just very interested to see if this deck gets to get played, because people like to ban blue or ban red. So is this the blue that you ban? I'm not sure. We'll see.
No, he's also rolling on Natural Selection, and yeah, definitely the Ancient Subjugate is the key card in this deck, as I like to say, because of all the milling and that it can do really quick. If you make
the crazy thing is, like, we thought this was very out of left field for imcute, right? But if we look at his next deck, you will be very, 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 very surprised to see. Oh, okay, so we cannot see the next deck, but I can tell you what the next deck is. imcute's last deck is Universal Organ. I feel like he just forgot that it's been 6 months already and the deck is a little bit old. No, I'm just kidding. He brought Universal Organ, guys. I know there are a lot of fans of Universal Organ and the girls out there. Will we get to see this play? Who knows? But yeah, the girls are still powerful, and it just takes a little bit more effort to set up right now. But I guess versus slower matchups, it still kind of works.
He's using the Mimic Protocol there, the new Battle Pass card. Running
Quinto,
the Maya
have you
Mancers.
actually ever gotten the Mimic Protocol to work?
No, not really. But I've seen some memes out there regarding it.
I don't know why no one has done it, but it's literally the Mimic protocol, right? Like the
meme protocol.
The Mimic protocol, yeah. Yeah. So will we see the Mimic protocol take some games today and take some names? Who knows? I think we'll be jumping into the games really soon. Very excited to see how this one plays out. The very conventional so-called gold standard lineup from PhatCat versus the very unconventional, unexplored lineup from imcute. And we should be jumping into the games really, really soon. What are your predictions, Quinto? What do you think we will see in this matchup?
I think in this case, we will see that the convention wins. Like, I mean, I don't know how imcute has performed in tournaments with these off-meta PURP style lists. PURP's definitely an absolute cooker in that regard. But like pulling these stunts off, it really takes, like, it can backfire, but it can really let you win some games and really put you in a good spot in difficult situations. So I'm excited that people are bringing these off meta decks and really really crazy decks and lists to the fray today, and we have the bans already.
Let's go.
It's gonna
Let's
be
go.
Cepius ban for veryfatcat and Kathy ban for imcute.
I see. So it's
Expected.
kind of interesting. Yeah, I expected the CPS ban, but the Kathy ban maybe a bit not so much. But it's just really, I guess, Fat Cat saying that like I am not gonna be respecting Asia. I will beat this deck, and I think
Yeah.
that is something that will be very exciting for us to see. We'll see how cute imcute's lineup is actually, and also obviously we don't. I don't want this to be Jova so quickly. I want to see a longer game. I don't want it to be like a trio. So my personal opinion is also I think that yeah, I think Fat Cat is favored, but we'll see how it goes. We might see some surprising shows of skill from imcute with his special
Yeah.
lineup.
For sure. Definitely the decks that Fat Cat is running, I think, has a slighter chance, higher chance to beat the lineup from imcute. The Kathy and Neve especially can definitely cook that Acio and the Universal deck. Also the brand, both of them. So that's where I'm seeing the weakness point for imcute in this regard.
Yeah, right. We'll be jumping into the first game right now. Yeah, and I also believe that the Acio might be actually a weak point for imcute because it's not like the little bit more aggressive one from PURP with the Relic. It's just straight up, I think, all in on trying to do the Acio gameplay combo and then just win, So we'll see how that one pans out for us real soon. So the bans is imcute has his Kathy band and Fat Cat has his Sippy band.
Yep. So what are your predictions for the first match here?
I mean, queue order is always a myth, right? When it comes to this kind of thing, like which one is the first one I want to queue, which one is the deck I don't want to play against. I think in general you can go with the idea that you can be thinking like I don't want to. Oh, right, they just cut me off. They basically just went straight in. Right, I was gonna say that like, you don't want to let your opponent's weakest deck go through. You know, you don't want to get your opponent's weakest deck through. So I guess in this case, the weakest deck might be the brand. Like they don't Fat Cat doesn't want to let the brand pass, so decides to kill Kathy first. And yeah, got the good matchup, I would say.
Yeah, definitely a good matchup here for Fat Cat.
Oh, we have player cams, Quinto. We have player cams.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we have player cams.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, the Harp here for Fat Cat initially is a nice one. Paired up with that Bloodhound Transport, he's not getting it. Yeah, definitely the Kathy matchup here for Fat Cat is super good against Brand, especially because he's running a unit heavy Kathy. So he's mulliganing, redrawing everything.
Yeah, I mean, Triple Poisoner also sort of does a lot of work against Brand, right? Just like one-shots the Brand and like reduces the impact of what it can be on the board. We see Fat Cat's hand, it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good, right? You got your ones. The question right now is, are we just going in with the 1+0 right now, or are we holding this 0 for later? Because there is a good chance Fat Cat never draws a 1-drop.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we already saw his expression there, having to bank the Triumph early on, going first. That it's a card that definitely can help him later on.
Yeah, so I think, like I said, he's really just thinking if he wants to commit the 0 right now. And I think if you do, you could even commit it first and then play a 1/3 Trooper, but decides to just play the 2/2 here, the 1 mana 2/2 here, Trooper, thinking that maybe if he doesn't draw a 1, he just goes 0+1 next turn. Also, maybe he's thinking he doesn't want to bank the Memento.
Yeah, definitely. But why not bank the Memento in this situation against a deck that can erase and banish you?
Yeah, the thing is you really want to go wide, but the thing is you don't go really tall. So sometimes like you might want to trade over a researcher or something. It's just an option that like I think it's good to have. But like with this hand, I think you do bank the Memento because you have a very nice turn 3 play already in the researcher.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about researcher is that the first person to drop the researcher always feels like he's in a better position because your opponent can't really play their researchers.
Yeah, that's totally true. The first one to play it is bowling, and if you're going first, it's super good for all the resources you can get later on, especially this Kathy deck that tends to run out of resources.
Yeah, I mean, imcute 10 for what it's worth, though we keep talking about how aggressive Cathy is. imcute 10 is actually really good for anti-aggro, right? He had the Siphon for
Yeah.
1, he has the Trapper or the Shard for 2, and then he also has a turn 3 play even if he curves with the Trapper. He's actually really good, like, to combat the aggression from Fat Cat.
So he's committing to this Memento.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Really interesting commit to the Memento here.
Yeah. Which can definitely cook this Void Trapper that probably we're going to see, or the Stabilized Shard.
Yeah, I think once we see this turn 2 play, we will know where imcute's head is at with this, right? Like, if you go Shard, you accept that you're going to be losing on the board until Brand
Yeah.
drops. But then if you go for the Trapper, you're... Okay, so he goes for the Trapper, he's thinking, alright, I think I can contest this board. Fat Cat's hand clearly looks really weak, right? He didn't even play a second 1-drop on turn 3. Goes for the Memento here, like you said, Quinto, to cleanly trade off the Trapper. I like that.
Yeah. Keeping up the board, but now he's gonna face probably a Romayan Researcher. I don't think imcute is gonna be too scared about this board.
Yeah.
He won't play that Erasure because that's not viable right now. And veryfatcat will be able to actually drop a nice board here with that Cathy's Rallying Cry and the Bloodhound, or probably a Cathy.
Yeah,
He definitely wants to keep up a board, especially with that Memento right now.
Definitely. I think imcute's biggest fear, veryfatcat's biggest fear right now is both units get cleared off and the Memento bounces back to hand. That would be the worst case scenario for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess imcute really weighing the option of going Shard plus 1-drop here because that gives you access to the Brand on the next turn. I think that might be what he's thinking about.
Yeah, and he doesn't really need those Romayan Researchers right now. So that's definitely a good play here. But he's going ahead and banking it. Going right away with a Researcher.
Yeah, decides that the Turbo Brand is not the way. I respect it. Decides to keep continuously fighting for the board. I think he's just like trying to put units on the board until like he has a good like erasure on the Memento unit, you know. Like just keep going units, and then when he finally gets ahead, he goes erasure on the Memento unit, and then Fat Cat loses all the build up he's had the entire game. Oh, Fat Cat with the whiff! These are not what you want to draw, these are what you want to search. And I think, are we just going for the Cathy here?
I think definitely a Cathy here would be nice, just going face right away. But populating the board will be my preferred option. Going just Cathy's Rallying Cry into a big board, making sure that that Memento stays around.
Yeah, I like this as well, actually. I mean, I like what you said as well. Also, keeping one of the Bloodhounds in hand could be good because you run triple Poisoner, right? So Poisoner plus Bloodhound is a very essential combo to clear off the Brand instantaneously or two.
He's going right away to clear this Romayan Researcher, going with the tempo. Seems to be hovering over Cathy here, just dropping that Cathy right away for that easy 6 damage to the face.
Yeah, and this was planned as well, leaving Cathy at 6, because if imcute has the option of going Coin Brand, the Cathy could one-shot it.
Correct.
We do see imcute just stuck with a bunch of units. Really wants to use the erasure on the Memento unit, but has to use it on the Cathy. Will we see him play out the Trooper here? Because it just dies for free to the power of the Memento of the Fallen. Yeah, just accepts that. Accepts that it's just gonna die for free.
Yeah.
Alright.
So
the funny thing about Cathy is that I feel like you just have perfect mana expenditure. Or like you just always have things to do, and then you just do things and then eventually draw Triumph. It's quite a vibe.
Yeah. No more Bloodhounds here, so nothing to draw from the cream. So definitely the Astels, the only other card left there. Really nice card to have in this situation. Thinking about going with that PS8 probably, or just clearing to bounce off the Memento. Definitely,
I just want to ask Chad a very interesting question. How many games have you guys lost that you thought were unlosable, and then they played Memento and you realized it was actually unwinnable? I feel like Memento of the Fallen is the one card that just wins the game so hard. Like, look at this situation. It's versus Shroud of all things, and it's winning the game so hard.
Yeah. I mean, veryfatcat had the vision of keeping this Memento around and definitely paid off.
Really a visionary, yeah. The vision,
managed to
right?
keep a board,
Yeah.
And now he's saving that Slinger just to buff that Astels probably and have even more presses in the board at this point. Even
Yeah.
with a brand on board, things look really bad for imcute, already at 16 health. That's not where you want to be at this stage
Yeah.
in the game, facing Kathy.
So I'm trying to think from imcute's perspective, what is your way back here? You know, like, do we need to hit something crazy like Salvation, Leonid's Barge? Do we need to YOLO the brand?
YOLO the brand.
I mean, now
mean,
you can't YOLO
yeah.
the brand because you don't have the mana, but like, maybe it was like YOLO the brand and hope it sticks and then belt it. You know, maybe that was the play. He's fishing though, that's why he played the Researcher first. Okay,
Yep.
that's still quite a decent amount of stats. But with the draw of the Sandrilon from veryfatcat, his brain is already in how do I find lethal mode. You know, I'll be very
Yep.
surprised. I'll be very surprised if we don't see the Sandrilon like get the lethal here. Probably just gonna go like 4+1, bank the Triumph, which is scary at this point. But I think with the limited amount of burn in this deck, you really want to capitalize on Sandrilon for the lethal.
Would you set up the Astels here also? Just with a Slinger, Astels, bank the Triumph, have that Astels, and then you have the Cendrillon in hand just to like confuse him, make him think that he needs to deal with your board, and then you just drop the Cendrillon. Like go full face now.
Yeah,
Drop.
Quinto, at this point, I think about 1 minute ago, I forgot that imcute had a bot already. I was only looking at his face. Because this situation is like, I look at this Rummaging Researcher and this Void Trapper, and I'm just like, I don't think they exist. I only see 16 health and I'm going there. I think that's what Fat Cat's gonna do as well.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Just going face, setting up the Astels just to keep a distraction here, and then topping it off with the Cendrillon next turn, and that's gonna be it for imcute.
I think his consideration was not so much about should I bank Triumph, but like should I play Cendrillon now because what if he plays a Snitching? I think he concluded that if they play Snitching, they're not beating my board anyway. Scheming, sorry. If they play Scheming, they're not beating my board anyway. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, Brand is the type of shroud that it's as you said it, like no Dominion in this case would have been definitely good, but in this scenario, Brand has nothing to do, still not in the Demok turn, so...
Alright, he's fishing. What are we fishing for? Erasure? Well, in theory, if you hit Erasure on the 4-5, you are kind of alive, but obviously that we see the Cendrillon in veryfatcat's hand.
He hit it.
He hit it. Respected hits, but a little bit too late. And this game, in the words of Quinto himself, is very probably Jova.
It's over.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, when you see that health so low at this stage of the game, with the board so wide for Kathy, definitely what we have here is just timed the 2-turn clock. And
yep, the 2-turn clock. In theory, Fat Cat imcute thinks he's alive, but we do see the Cendrillon coming down right now.
Well, he has to attack first with other units.
Not really, because like it's just 4+4. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. This is the. He's even doing it in the wrong order on purpose, saying I don't need my other unit. This is emotional damage right here. Straight up pure emotional damage. On purpose, I'm pretty sure. Let's go. 1-0 to Fat Cat. Very clean. I wouldn't say anything really special happened here other than the keep of the Memento, right? Other than that, it's just a very classic textbook aggro dominating the brand from the get-go kind of gameplay.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the easy matchup here for veryfatcat, Markolian, versus a brand that can't actually deal with a white board, and Fat Cat's list was full of units. We saw it, and the way he played the Memento was key there. Managing to keep it on the board.
It was that one turn, right? I feel like with Memento, there's always one like weakest Memento turn. It's like the turn you play it down, and you saw his board was like 2 very low health units. I feel like one way imcute could have maybe gotten back in that game if there was a siphon at that point in time, you know, to read the memento back to the hand. I think veryfatcat will be down so much on tempo. So yeah, I feel like memento, there's always that like one weakest turn, but then once you do not get it back to your opponent's hand on that weakest turn, it just snowballs so quickly. So yeah, that's probably the reason why we saw this very textbook classic simple game plan and win from veryfatcat versus imcute in the first game. So now veryfatcat has Neve and Earthen and Nehemiah versus all three of imcute's decks left. Personally, I really want to see, oh my gosh, yes, I really want to see the Asio being played because Asio has not have had enough screen time in parallel for sure, right, Pinto?
Yeah, it doesn't at all. It's one of those meta decks that don't really see the light of day, especially in tournaments.
This is also maybe the matchup that Asio can win, you know, because I don't think Asio in general is like really too good into Cathy. So I think imcute is like kind of fine that the Cathy is out of the way. This is like, I think Fatcat's in theory slowest deck, right? The Neve. So Asio preys on the slower decks because it has like a one-stop win the game win condition in the Asio herself. So this could be, so the thing about this matchup is if you approach it very much like Uni Organ, if you manage to get rid of all the, using schemings, you get rid of all the subjugates and triumphs from the Asio's hand, their game plan is really slowed down actually.
Yeah, true. Definitely, if Fatcat here manages to ramp up, play that Neve early on, do a bunch of damage in the mid game, we could see an Asio struggling to do anything. And actually, with this hand, he decides to not play anything. Really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, my first opinion is like you can go like 1, 2, and then erasure whatever comes out on 3, you know. But I guess he's saving the steward for a big dominion play, which is like the classic how Asio wins games, how Neve wins games.
Yeah, correct. We have seen it many times.
Yeah,
In your
Stewie
stream.
Yeah, and the steward probably goes up to like 10 attack and then just kills them in 3 turns. But yeah, the Moritas being drawn though from imcute, it's the first time we are seeing it after the patch, right? Like at 3 mana. I think it's gonna do really good work here. Decides to bank the Trapper and place the 2/4 instead. I guess it doesn't want his unit to die, right? Because if another striker has played, the Trapper will die on the board.
Yeah, definitely.
And natural selection. What do you think about this card, Quinto? I'm not a big fan of this card in Asio, but I know a lot of players swear by it.
This is a good cook here. He wasted Droshan, and look at that! Oh my god, imcute is about to cook next turn.
Yep. We are gonna
the
see
Enraged Beast.
the definition of overstatted. The definition of overstatted. 3 mana 11/11. Maybe not strictly on turn 3. Maybe not strictly on turn 3, but you know, because this is erasure.deck, but very hard to believe that we will not see 3 mana 11/11 coming up real soon.
And look at this little play here for Fatcat, just buffing away that Singularity Steward, clearing up the board. Yeah, I got a bit excited, definitely. Not in turn 3.
Yeah, but this is erasure.deck, and we see in the hand there are multiple ways to deal with that. Would be nice to still see it though. But goes for a middle tier statted Steward, just a 4. But definitely good enough to contest whatever imcute can play, except a 3/11/11. But we do see an erasure in his hand. So short-lived potential 3/11/11. I really do want to see it though.
Well, imcute is stacked here with 80 subjugates, but definitely needs to deal with this board.
Quinto, if you look at the board and you look at your hand, and don't you think your only way is if your 3/11/11 sticks, right? I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, he's forced here to play with the Magna. I mean, he's forced to play Magna to at least deal with this Baron, but it's gonna be a Singularity Steward game where probably we'll see a erasure or just the siphon here.
I kind of like just playing a 4/4 just to banish it temporarily and get some tempo. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the draw is. Ooh, oh, that's
Ooh,
insane.
this
That
is
feels the curve so
nice.
well. Yeah, that feels the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Erasure Bank. Are we gonna see the 4-4? Yep, we're gonna go for max tempo here. I like this. We can draw later. We can kill him now. We can draw later.
Yeah, correct. Max tempo, always.
Yeah, yeah.
6 damage already to a face, and
But
this is where,
Quinto,
yeah.
there is no out to the tree. 11-11 now. In theory.
Well, true.
Let's see.
Fatcat haven't seen the waste. Well, actually, he saw it.
I
He
mean,
saw the waste,
I just saw
but
the
he
enraged
doesn't
beast
know
and I'm
that
excited.
imcute has that Maritus that can actually copy it. But
I bet
I
he's
think
not even
imcute
thinking
is
about
not
it.
gonna play it.
But what do we
Definitely.
do now though? Right, versus this board. Okay, he's gonna draw. Okay.
Yeah. This is a situation where you don't want to be playing ACO. Basically, you really want to be in a position where your ATN subject sticks and you can just play a bunch of units, keep milling up the deck. So by turn 8, you can play ACO. But with facing this board from veryfatcat, which is wild already by itself, 4 plus 6, it's already 10 damage on the board. The life siphon will do some of the job also. Plus the replenishment of resources with Brand's expertise.
Yep.
I don't think it, Lambi. I don't think imcute has a chance here. It's already
I mean,
too much
I
tempo.
know what imcute is doing. He's trying to set up Poisoner, right? Like he's thinking like, all right, these things are so big, maybe they go face, and then I can flip the game back with Poisoner.
Well, that's an option.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. Also, veryfatcat just went into the matrix. He just glitched. He just straight up glitching right now. You know,
Yeah.
already in a transcendent
man.
space.
My
My
man
man
is,
glitching
yeah.
right there.
It's already
so
searching for the answers.
tons of options
Look at
for
that.
sure.
We
Yeah. Oh, he's
got it.
back.
Yep, he's back.
He's back to parallel. He's now an avatar. But yeah. So basically,
so
I
veryfatcat
think
here probably searching for a Dominion.
yeah, to buff up the Stewie even more. I mean, he has such a huge amount of options, right? Like he has so much draw. Oh, the
Ooh,
scheming is pretty big.
treacherous.
Yeah, the scheming is pretty big if you really want to block a triumph. But then of course you'd be met with 2 triumphs. Decides to go max tempo instead. I like it.
Yeah.
Saying that I'm just gonna try to finish you off ASAP. Very interesting to
Yeah.
see if the steward trades, you know. I think that might be a very big deciding factor if the steward trades here. Let's see.
I don't know, man. Like, would you trade here?
Oh no.
Like,
I
he knows
would
that
go
he's
to the
playing a
face.
poisoner.
I would go to the
Yeah.
face, man. I would
Full
just
face, at
donk
least with
him
that
in the
8 damage.
face. Yep.
Like, it's not like
I mean,
he will be able to set up another poisoner with a with a board and really like waste the attack here.
Yeah, I mean, I would go face here simply because it's just very simple, right? If you're playing Poisoner, you're not playing Triumph Flow. It's like an either-or thing.
Yep.
So that's where my head is at. So yeah, I'm cute in this very weird spot whereby I think he wants to Triumph, right? The waste is semi-loaded, but at the same time, he's gonna die to this Steward if he doesn't Poisoner.
Yep. Exactly.
What if the out is mill a Poisoner and respawn? That would be the nut.
Well, that's his only out.
He's
I
going
think.
for the nut. Let's go. Let's see.
He didn't get it, and he's gonna die here definitely.
Yeah, he's gonna die,
with
man.
the ATN surgery. He might be able to buff it up, but I think he's gonna fall short. Well, at least cook the honor steward.
There's always a way, man. There's like double tabula plus exalt mill. You can buff 5 times to the guy.
Well, yeah.
There's always that.
True. Will he reach
it? Are we a believer? Are we a
With a
believer
bunch
in
of
buff
Avilas.
5 times? All right, we just need a chain right now.
Here.
We just need a chain. 1 more tabula, 1 more exalt, and then 1 more.
Look at this meal. He's already at 12 cards.
Yyep.
So
which is also why I understand why Fat Cat wants to kill ASAP, because the mill is crazy, right? Already like turn 5 and halfway through the deck.
Yeah, getting another meal here with the Magna going back. So, and there's actually no Eclipse Fate. And look at that. The Formaticians also, it's already at 10 cards. So if the Eclipse Fate, well, this little unit here is going to die. So there's no actual Eclipse Fate into everything. But a Dominion here might do the job. So probably Raw Magging Researcher into a Dominion.
Yeah, I like that. I like to go fishing first with the researcher, then we decide. If we hit the Dominion, I think it's insta-lethal.
Yeah, the Dominion is lethal because it will
Alright,
clear
let's see.
a bunch of stuff here.
I think there's 2 left in the deck. 2 out of 23.
2 left.
Slightly under 10%. Oh, rookie numbers if you are the chosen one. Is he gonna hit?
Rookie numbers.
Rookie numbers if you're the chosen one. Just slightly
There
under
we
10%.
go, fishing for that Dominion to get
Are
the
you the
kill.
chosen-
Didn't
Oh,
get it.
yeah,
But
not
this
the
this
chosen
actually
one.
is good because he can play. Well,
Yeah, I guess
no,
you can.
actually
can
doesn't do a
kinda-
yup. If he
Hmm,
gets
what are
the
we
other
doing here?
one, if he gets the other, take it or leave it. He has 2 more in the deck.
Take
and
it or
now
leave it.
2 draws here
Plus what?
plus Dominion. So
Dominion?
double take it or
Dominion?
leave it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he actually gets it.
We could also hit Siphon for free. That's a thing.
There it is,
Oh, Quinto, are you the chosen one? Fat
bro.
cat? Rookie
no.
numbers? Oh, not rookie numbers, man.
Well,
He's
he
not
will
a
have
chosen.
to
I would have hit
clear
it for
here.
sure, Quinto, just
Yeah.
saying. But anyway.
My
Alright, now we gotta
God,
trade now.
he's going face. But
Yeah,
this,
I guess
this
there's no Drusians, right? No Drusians, no
Bro.
kill box, then just silence off the 4/4.
this Asian subjugate probably cooks a lot. He needs to know snitch it, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gotta
There he
snitch
goes.
it for sure. How much damage is on Cute's board, man? 4, 5, 6, 7,
That's a
8,
lot,
9,
man.
13, 14, plus the buff from the 2, 1, 5, 15. I think about 15. About 15 damage on board. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
So yeah. What do we see here? imcute is probably just going to clear the board here because he knows that he's just 1 turn away.
Wait, is it lethal? Is he?
I think so.
Does Domina work with this now? Like you go Domina plus.
So he's
Raging
playing
Beast?
Maritus here.
Does it work?
Domina plus Beast, yeah.
It works. Okay.
Yeah, it should work. So
Oh, but there's no
it's
Beast.
probably lethal. It's lethal, yeah.
Was there
So
a
it's-
Domina in there? I didn't see the Domina.
No Domina, but it's lethal if he can copy the. Well, actually, I've seen it bugged. Maritus has always been a buggy unit. So, but he copied here the Master Poisoner just to clear the
that's
board
pretty smart,
efficiently.
That's pretty smart. That's really smart, right? You get a 3/11 on the board, and Shroud doesn't
Yeah.
have like battle cry, not battle cry, battle ready units. Yeah. So this is smart. Turning
Yeah.
it around, I'm cute.
But veryfatcat can play Neve next turn, so it's over.
Oh
It's
man, I didn't
over
even see
for
that,
imcute,
Quinto. I
actually.
didn't even see
Yeah.
that. Surely he
It's
sees
over.
that. He saw it.
Yeah, surely. He's cooking,
No,
man. He's locked in.
This is crazy because like when you were saying he went all phase, I wasn't even looking at the 6 health from I'm cute. But
Yeah.
Fat Cat saw it and set it up right straight up. That's why he went
Yeah.
all phase. Very nicely
Yeah,
spotted.
He knew that it was
He
difficult
knew.
with that ATN subjugate, no snitch, for imcute to actually buff the board enough. Because with a Triumph, we would have seen lethal for sure with an unsilenced ATN subjugate already on the board. It's gonna
Wow.
be it here for imcute.
Cool plays from both sides. I think cooler plays from I'm Cute's side, but Fat Cat just shows that he's mechanically very sound, just like identifying his win condition, pushing for it, hitting
Yeah.
face at the right time, setting up the lethals. I'm Cute doesn't even want to see the spawns, just concedes to the power of the knave. 2-0 up, Fat Cat versus I'm Cute. And Fat Cat just has his Earthen deck left versus Asio, Brand, and Jorgencore.
Yeah, definitely. And the way he was searching there for his Dominion, for example, like every turn he had the chance to actually get lethal, setting up the temple. So very well played and mechanical, as you say, Lambi, by Fat Cat. It was insane.
Very good recognition of. I mean, it was like a coin for Neve kind of lethal, but you know he saw it immediately, took it, and I mean he traded. I think pretty much he traded everything he needed to trade and went face when he needed to. So a very even split of aggression and controlling the board. Very nicely done. I think it was really almost all the way in his favor, in his control. Will I'm Cute be able to pull it back a bit? We'll see. The brand is favored into Earthen.
Yeah.
I don't think Asio is like really that favored into Earthen, but yeah, at least we get to see Brand, if Brand's being queued up right now from imcute, we get to see a favorable matchup from imcute into the Earthen, and then we'll go from there. But what are your thoughts on Earthen right now, Quinto? What's your opinion on the deck?
I think Earthen has. I mean, the nerf for no snitching just makes it so that the Earthen matchup is annoying. Definitely, we're gonna see some changes, balance changes going on. But pretty much every other parallel has a chance to just control this deck in a way. Like Cathy's and CPUs has the poisoners. Shroud just has the banishes. And Augenkor, as we saw with PURP's list, really managed. And also, I believe with Feno, that they managed to just deal with these insane boards from Earthen with things like anti-organic pole. So once again, Earthen is in a weird position here, and we see here veryfatcat with nothing to play turn 1. Definitely the Premier Conduit is a nice one to play at some point here.
Yeah, Premier Conduit, I like the card just because it fills every curve. And I think in this matchup also it answers Embedded Agent really well. That's one of its best use cases, I would say.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So we
There
see
we
a
go,
second
one.
one. Will he go
Yeah.
for it just to be able to clear that shield pod? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, probably just play some stats on the board because he wants to curve very nicely into. I think Earthen's power spike, if you miss the Steward, is always turn 3.
Yeah.
Right? You got 3 mana 6/6 Provoke Caretaker. The Rummaging Researcher, that's like I think the best thing to play on 3 in general in every deck. So yeah, that being said though, Brand is still definitely the favorite deck here because outside of specific hard removal, Brand is very unclearable for Earthen. Also, not to mention that Shroud in general is Shroud, right, with all the banishes. Definitely very favored into Earthen.
Yeah,
but the
of
problem
course.
with Brand is, I think, if it ever falls behind, even in this matchup, it's gonna struggle to get back.
Yep. Yep. And it's very possible. Definitely, if he had played the Steward turn 1 into a Premier Conduit, we have seen, like, I would have already called it there.
Yeah,
But
the famous
I like
Jova.
Yeah. I like the Provoked Caretaker in this matchup, especially because it gets out of the way of the Dominion. Right now, it's not the turn to play it, definitely, because there's not a good enough board here for imcute. Snitching that Void Trapper is key.
Also want to mention that I think this might be one of the sickest plays from Fat Cat this tournament because instead of going for a 3 mana 6/6 or a 3 mana 2/5, you go for another unit that's untargetable by an erasure that you sort of expect, and there is no clean trade for the Void Trapper into the 2/2 conduit because of the 3/3 defender other conduit. You know, he can block with it. So very good recognition of the fact that you don't need to go for the biggest thing, just go for the most annoying thing in this spot.
Yeah. Always. Especially the Premier Conduits against Shroud. Like, you want those units early on. But what will we see here now that the Ramayan Researcher is dropping board of imcute? veryfatcat can meal here also if he plays it. Well, actually can't because he can decide
It's
not to draw.
optional, yeah.
So it doesn't matter really. At this point for veryfatcat to play it, but he can also go with Nehemiah. I've seen this play going Nehemiah for the tempo run, probably clearing up the Void Trapper and just setting up some kind of tempo, forcing imcute to just use an erasure. What will we see here?
Yeah, the thing about Nehemiah on curve right now is it's so powerful because you cannot Honored Steward it anymore, right? So if they play an erasure on it, they don't develop behind the erasure. So it's like you reset the game back to the same state, right? You just like go on to a next turn. So I'm very big fan of going for Tempo Nehemiah, whether it gets removed or not. Like, it doesn't really matter because they don't play new stuff after the erasure.
Yeah, definitely. He goes on to bank the Caretaker. Definitely looking up to that formidable presence later on in the game to maybe get the lethal in a good position, and goes full face. He doesn't care about this Void Trapper.
Real. The recognition is real. He's just like, all right, even if you erasure this, I'm primed and ready to go for the lethal in a few turns. Will this pan out the way it's supposed to be? I don't know. We'll see. So erasure comes down on Nehemiah. I think as much as Fat Cat is a profile picture right now, I think he also had no expression. He knew it was happening. He knew it was gonna happen for sure.
Yeah.
All right. blocks. I guess
Well,
just let the Trapper take the...
Yeah, goodbye
Yeah.
Trapper. The question here is, veryfatcat will trade here or just go face again against this Romayan researcher? Because now,
Mm-hmm.
if he puts down his own researcher, he won't.
Oh.
Yeah, a second for middle presence. Yeah, he trades and now goes with his own because then he can get
Honestly,
more
I'm thinking
researches
maybe
to
we go
imcute.
face Quinto because there's 7 cards in imcute's hand, you know? I don't think Fat Cat noticed there's already 7 cards in imcute's hand.
So he
So,
imcute wouldn't have
yeah,
draw.
exactly. And you just drew your second formidable presence, so every point counts. Maybe just a little bit of a oopsie from Fat Cat there is my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
Because he's
true,
been
true.
known to be shown to be very good at recognizing like game states. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how this pans out.
True, but
Might be a good brand turn for imcute next turn.
and also maybe he didn't do it just because probably this comes to the point in the game where there's more energy to play around. So imcute could have keep on getting resources, which is very bad for this earthen deck. If he left that Romayan researcher around, I mean. And now,
Right.
if imcute decides to go with it, veryfatcat already has an option here.
Yeah, imcute, I think he's just going for the brand here. He actually knows that this is very safe because Fat Cat's list has no like if I'm not wrong, there's no solitary confinement in Fat Cat's list. So this is
Oof.
actually like one of the safest brands ever. So I kind of like
this
it.
is already looking bad here for fatcat. So many resources in imcute's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a Crimea conduit here to clear off the brand. Possibly the only solution, but then it will leave fatcat also in a bad position where this Romayan researcher can't do much.
There are a few schools of thought here, right? Like you can use Formidable to clear off the brand, or you could just like donk it all face, 2 turns in a row. I want to see where his head is at with this one. He's playing the Formidable right now, so the option is either you use it to hit all into the brand, or you just go all face. Very curious to see where his head is at for this one. What will you do, Quinto, before he actually makes the play? Would you trade here, or would you go all face?
I will go face, definitely.
8 damage, plus the conduit is 2. So you get
Yep.
8 damage now. Assuming the conduit never dies. So that's 2 again.
He goes and clears off
Goes
the
for the
brand.
trade. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't think that it's enough to go for this play of just going all face right now. Probably plays down the conduit just as a body as well.
Yeah, you need to keep some kind of tempo here. Now, and the Crimea conduit with the shield, that there's not much imcute can do. Keep on chipping away some damage. Gets the Terra Glider in a really good spot for next turn. This
Yeah.
is huge, especially going with
Yeah.
a Terra Mentor.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, but the scheming comes down
The
right on cue.
scheming-
I think ridding
scheming
him of the
cooking.
Terra Glider. Yes, because imcute is still relatively healthy right now, so I think the Terra Glider would be the right pick.
No,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
For sure.
For sure, you want that
sure.
Terra Glider. Yeah, because the chances to get a Terra Verdant Mentor next turn are super high. That would put veryfatcat in such a good position. Still far away from a Demok turn with a bunch of units on the board.
Alright, Researcher coming down. Might not even draw. Yep, doesn't draw because it's gonna overdraw if he does that. Just places it on the board to be annoying versus all the reveal conceal effects from the Earthen. Fat Cat now down to only 4 mana this turn. What can he do?
Oof.
He cannot do much.
The
But
third.
I guess this is pretty big. Yeah, this is pretty big.
third
Banks the
Stewie.
Stewie for sure. Yeah.
And he's gonna meal. Well, he can't. He can't.
He got
do that.
silence. He got silence. Yeah. So
No, I mean, I mean, like, I keep thinking that if you you can make them overdraw, but they can
Yeah,
pass
it's
on it
optional.
and with the researcher.
Yeah, so he's just doing shuffling 2 caches, just to hopefully high roll like maybe a shielded, which is very relevant in this matchup, or a buff, which is also very relevant in this matchup.
What's the out here, you master, absolute master of outs in this position, just with low amount of resources here, very fat cat, and I'm cute with a full stack on hand.
Yeah, the out here, like trying to see the impossible but try and make it possible, is you go Terra Glider,
Yeah.
and spawn a big guy and then hide it behind Formidable, and then you just go all phase and then it works out. That is the current supposedly possible high roll. And then of course, if you want to go one level deeper, the Lambi style is basically Terra Glider spawn Terra, Terra spawn something else, self heal. You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is
definitely.
one level deeper of high roll. But at minimum, I think Terra Glider is needed to get back into this game.
Well, definitely there was an out there. If that cachet would have been the fortified buffing, the caretaker would have been a good position here. But now we probably see this Life Siphon do some of the job against this caretaker. But yeah, definitely a Terra Glider into a board of formidable presences, pulling out a Verdant Mentor, buffing the formidable presence would be a nice out. Definitely could be possibly faced up against a Debok the next turn, which would put Very Fat Cat in a position where will be one more formidable away. So he would need the Terra Glider into a formidable presence draw to actually finish this off. If that,
I do think that Fat Cat, I'm cute also kind of knows that he cannot give the Earthen too much time though, because Earthen has a lot of these like crazy swings, right? So he's going in on the corrupted unit right now, trying to get something big, and I think maybe coining out Amalia to pair alongside, just for maximum board pressure. Hits the 5/5, doesn't really do anything except be a 5/5, but it's big enough on the board. I expect a coin Malia here just to get the heal rolling, get the draw, and get a bit of damage going to the face of Very Fat Cat as well.
Yeah, now Fat Cat facing a huge board here from I'm Cute. Definitely coins up. The take it or leave it, drops that Malia, gets a heal. As you said, Lambi. It's a difficult situation to be in, especially because of the new heal that Malia got back.
The crazy thing is the line that we talked about, the Terra Glider into Terra, into Formidable, whatever, still works right now because there's no demo in the hand for I'm Cute. And yeah. Oh, there's the demo. Oh, I'm such a jinx. Well, he also bricked, so not really a jinx.
Well, there's a demo. So if that play would have panned out, there's a demo there.
All right, it's just Formidable, close your eyes, go face. I think that's it, no?
Yeah, but then like bank the caretaker and possibly get the Terra Glider, like top deck the other Terra Glider and the last formidable presence, Very Fat Cats.
No, Quinto, we are max coping here. We are going 3+4, no bank. That's, I think, the only...
No, that's not possible. That's not possible.
I mean, everything is not possible. You need to create magic. Do you believe in magic, Quinto?
No, he knows he's gonna face a Demok soon. He's running 3 of them. It's not gonna happen.
Sure.
So, yeah,
all right. So
he needs a Terra Glider and the other formidable, and we're cooking. And Very Fat Cat will win this, dude.
All right. Quinto, we need to time our Jover later when it's eventually Jover.
Yeah, and he goes to clear the Malia. Yeah, definitely. This is really good for Fat Cat. Blocks the heal, does some more damage because that will put. Oh, he's just clearing out.
Yeah, I think with this line of like fully trading, he's just saying that I'm gonna try my best to top deck some. There we go.
There is one piece of the puzzle. Oh my god!
There's one piece of the puzzle. The creator of miracles, the master of magic, the Terra Glider.
Will just like a Demok here, I think would just do the job. In any case,
you don't get back the mana, right, with the Demok here.
Yeah,
but you also lose your ball. You lose your pressure, and I feel like you never want to give Irvin too much time to draw their swing card. So I don't think the Demok is the play here. I think he's just gonna keep developing on board. Might even be.
He can still cook some energy here with the Erasure and the Honor Steward. I'm not sure if the Honor Steward works against this. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, Honor Steward does work against the little guy though, the seed. Well, yeah, it does work against the seed.
That's an option.
Yeah, I do think we
Just
are going for more tempo, yeah. You don't want to lose your 5-5 and 4-3 on the board right now.
yeah, more tempo, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
So going with the unseen allies, which is great for
Mhm.
next turn.
Yeah, anti-analyze in Brand, wow, that's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's pretty big stuff. But in general, unseen allies in Brand kind of like always replaces itself because you can always bring out a corrupted vision if you need to, like worst case. So yeah,
So
goes
a
for this
Terra,
play.
like if the play happens here, Lambi, we are still veryfatcat still doesn't have lethal,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he didn't get it.
are you
But he's
ready, Quinto? Are you ready?
a
The relic draw opens up even more possibilities for Magic with
That's true.
Terra roll. The Terra roll here. The 50-50 all or nothing. I mean,
The
obviously
50-50.
ignoring the demo in hand, the 50-50 to hit the Terra. Will magic happen here? What can we spawn? He doesn't even hit
Ooh,
the Terra. Loses the
no.
50-50. That's unfortunate.
Oh my god. Well, that's gonna be it. I think there's plenty of things to do here for my imcute next turn. The erasure, the honor steward, just leaving Fat Cat in a bad position, forcing him to actually bank that Altar of Gaia.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much gas in MQ's hand, right? He has removal for
Yeah.
days. He has stats in terms of the unseen allies for this. He just does. I feel like you can just do whatever at this point. Just play cards and then kill cards, and then you would probably win eventually at this point.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
The Terra
It's all
Gliders.
about controlling now.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we still like we can still see another Terra. Wait,
I think there is one more glider. I do think so. I can't
yeah, there's
remember
3.
exactly.
So
There
there's
might be
one
another
more.
glider.
There's one
Yeah.
more in Fat Cat's deck into a formidable presence. Sadly, he had to bank that Altar of Gaia, which would have put him in lethal range if he wins the 50-50 and gets a formidable presence. Definitely the caches. Well, nothing's gonna survive here, right? In fact,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
board.
at this
Goes
point,
face.
ImCute knows that he's kind of in a very winning position. Just gotta maintain the lead. You know, just removing all the big threats. Making sure that he sets up a board whereby he might be able to lethal on the following turn is also something to consider.
Yep.
Goes for the
Goes with the Baron
Baron.
here. Yeah.
Erasure on the
controlling.
big guy. Yeah, just erasure on the big guy. Oh, wait, does this conceal? Oh, wow. This conceals cards.
And he can play a Terra Glider in his singularity
From his
from the Unseen
singularity,
Allies.
yeah. Wait, ImCute might be the chosen one instead of veryfatcat. It's panning out perfectly. And even as the
Yeah, he can
VTs on the board.
actually Terra
Yeah.
this board and get the lethal probably.
Yeah, you can max conceal and then bring out the glider from your bank. From your singularity and hit the 50-50 on your Terra glider for the Terra. That's probably just the play. It's just free, right? Because the Unseen Allies is active.
Yep. Yeah, the free play always.
Yeah.
Maximize resources.
Very nice. Yeah. I mean, I think Fat Cat knows he's dead. He's just like playing the game out because you always make your opponent play, you know. All right,
Is
let's
there
see.
an out? The question again. Is there an out, Lambi?
You're
here
testing
in this
me,
situation?
Quinto. There is.
There is.
Terra Glider or Terra into infinite heal chain on your Terra. So like Terra Glider spawn Terra, Terra spawn Moonlit, Moonlit spawn Moonlit. You get where we're going with this? We are in that realm
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
We
true.
are in that realm now, Quinto, of impossibility that could be possible.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's see if we hit the. All right, he hits it.
It's the 50-50.
Yeah, and chat, once
an
again, a
insane
reminder,
board.
veryfatcat is not frozen. It's a picture. He's not frozen, it's a
Yeah.
picture.
He hasn't blinked actually.
Oh, maybe he actually hasn't blinked. Yeah, he
He
glitched.
hasn't blinked. He's in the singularity right now after that glitch.
For sure, right? Trying to find answers from the singularity that isn't there. All right. I
That
think we just go
isn't.
buff. Yeah, just go buff because we don't want to lose to random spore. I guess that could be the play. You don't need new stuff. Yep. Identifies it immediately. Might even go for the trade here. No sense in taking extra damage when you have lethal presented on the board.
Wait. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the 8/8 still can attack. I just didn't see. Right.
Yeah, this is just a point of Shroud classically
Oh, off face.
playing the
Respect.
Earthen deck. Yeah, he doesn't care.
All right,
at
there's
this
another
point.
out, man. It's like some
Well,
Terra
this
buff
gives an out
chain.
for Fat Cat, but
Yep.
I don't think so, man. Well,
No, it's not enough. It's not enough. This only
Yeah.
just clears off 1 unit actually, with the flourish. So I think we're going to a game 4, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to a game 4.
well,
Looks really
it's gonna
done.
be it. There's no out. Finally, Lambi has called it. We're going to a game 4.
Indeed. So I was looking at the brackets actually just now on the tournament website.
Yeah.
This was the exact same position that Fat Cat was in just now. He was 2-0 up, lost the game 3 as Earthen, and then won the game 4. So I think he's literally been in this position exactly right before this match. Yeah, it was 2-1 and then closed out. So we'll see if Prophecy remains the same. He closes it out at a 4-1 right now. imcute has Acio and Jorgenkor versus Nehemiah.
Unishop. Yeah.
Unishop, right.
Yeah,
It's
Unishop. We saw this situation happen to many players, especially Eliezer in the World's Championship, where everything went down to his Earthen matchup. Many times he had 2 points up and then lost until he could win with the Earthen. So we're probably seeing this. He can Fat Cat can replicate the previous situation in the bracket, or just come down to the last game of winning with this Earthen deck.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter which you queue first right now. Like, I know people always have this myth of like, at this point, which will you queue first? I guess it doesn't matter because you have to beat the Earthen twice anyway. But for your mental sake, like for you to have the highest chance to go to 2-2 and emotionally damage your opponent, do you think it's the Organ Core or the Acio from imcute?
I think we're gonna see the Unishop here.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can see that as well, right? Like, Unishop, in my previous experience with Unishop, because I brought it for Prime Knockouts as well, it had a pretty decent Earthen matchup, but that was of course when the Hacker was 4 mana.
Yeah.
Now it's now Hacker is not fantastic anymore. So maybe we just see the classic gameplay of stall out till we play the girls on 8, and that is really good into Earthen for what it's worth. So we'll see if that remains.
I mean,
to
the
be
printers,
same.
and we see Acio.
Acio instead though. Right, so maybe imcute believes that this is the one that he has the highest chance to beat Earthen. Because I think it's relevant, right? Like, you want to put your opponent at 2-2, especially when he was ahead, because it's more stressful for the guy that's ahead to be back on par.
Yeah, for sure. So
I see.
will we see another Enraged Beast in that will actually cook here for imcute and an early Enraged Beast Maritus.
Yeah, agree. Like in this matchup, I believe like a very big singular unit is very unremovable, because there's no actual like hard removal in Fat Cat's deck. We do see the Spore though. We actually do see the Spore, which I think is very important because at the end of the day, you don't want to lose randomly to like a white spawn of like whatsoever Qatari clones and everything. There is even the check for subjugates, which is the snitching, which I think is one way that Acio usually gets out of control. The subjugate doesn't get checked and then you lame from there.
Correct. Yeah.
Cute
if you don't check
one drop.
Like we saw it, like how he ramped, how Cute ramped in the match against Neef. Like he went from 23 cards to 10 in no time, to 6, something like that, in like one turn with the HM subjugates.
imcute whiffed on the one drop, which is it's a really big deal at the end of the day. You're not necessarily an aggro deck, but you do definitely want to pile on the pressure. Fat Cat drawing his steward. I think he's weighing the option of playing second steward now.
Yeah, banking the altar here for sure. Going into Nehemiah.
Yeah. I think you have to keep the Spore and the snitching. The altar is a bit secondary right now.
For sure. You can't let this HO develop a board for sure. You need the spores.
Yeah, imcute still has no turn to play outside of the unnatural selection. We'll see where this lands up. I really think a subjugate, no, sorry, a bearer draw here is insane. Like it gets uncontested on the board. Oh, it's not. It's just unnatural selection turn then. Unnatural selection, and we'll see where this lands up.
Oh, goes ahead and the bearer with the tabula. The bearer.
Okay,
banked.
yeah, that works as well. Wait. Oh, he milled again. The beast.
Milled the enraged beast.
The beast.
Fat Cat
Moritus
is already
off the top
like,
would
holy
be
cat.
fantastic.
And a no snitch it from cute, but he won't be able to play it here. Can definitely play that no snitching on the bearer. He definitely doesn't want that around.
Brings out the Nehemiah. Likely goes for the snitching on the 1-3.
Yep. He doesn't want that around for sure. And here's where we see, like, if there was no snitching, the Magna here would have done some damage.
Cute has this assembly swarm, which is very clean for the Nehemiah right now.
Well, there it is. The one copy of this assembly swarm doing the job. And the no snitching to keep on blocking the ramp. The second one on the Stewies.
Yeah, I think you can be very like liberal with your no snitchings in this matchup now, because you can't actually use it on the big cards, you know, like the Terramax and all that. So might as well just like cash it in right now.
These Estelles won't have a chance against the Caretaker.
You have a pod. You have a pod to protect the Estelles for a bit.
Approaching the turn of the Terramac here. And again,
it goes for display. Interesting. I was thinking of actually setting up the Estelles, but I guess he sees it in a different way.
And look at that. He cooked the Estelles. The Estelles.
Yeah, he dumped the Estelles.
The Maritus with Estelles. Yeah, the Maritus with Estelles description and the stats of the Enraged Beast is an absolute cook against Earthen. But now, no disassembly swarm can backfire a bit, because I think was his only answer against this Terramac to get it out of the way. Well, he has the poisoners.
The main answer, yes, is the poisoner. It's still the poisoner, right? Because it's very hard to find a pairing to break the shielded for the Terramac. So we go for the draw here, hits the snitching for later. Might end up being the bank, because you want to keep the draw chain going with your relic, right? So you want to there's a good chance you just bank your snitching here and go from there, setting up Terramac next turn.
It's a second.
We could bank that.
The Stewie can be banked here for sure.
It's quite irrelevant right now. So what is Cute's play here? I mean, a poisoner would be nice. Slamming a Triumph is also nice just to get through your deck.
Yeah, the Triumph is another key card to definitely mill your deck really, really quick. Can get a Maritus from that and absolutely cook.
Maybe what he was doing on the previous turn was he was just trying to go white in case he draws Poisoner. I can respect it.
Yeah. So when does Fat Cat play these Virulent Spores?
Usually you want to Spore in this matchup, or like versus Cathari in general. You want to Spore plus Develop on the same turn, you know? Like you want to go Spore plus Caretaker, or even better, Spore plus Terra Glider on turn 7. So you can apply pressure while clearing their board as well. Generally, that's the best use case and timing for the Spores. But of course, if you're under too much pressure, you can just slam it. But I think now Fat Cat's trying to look for like a Terra Glider and pair it with his Spore if he ever gets to get to that position. All right, let's see.
We see here probably a Triumph just to keep on milling. Already at 22 cards. I'm cute. Or an Aetian Subjugate also could be possible here to keep on the mill going. He's looking at his waist. Let's see if Fat Cat gives us a pick there. He doesn't seem happy, I'm cute, with what he saw.
Yeah, all right. I'm very. He decides to not go for the Triumph here. Decides to wait it out a bit. I think
Yeah.
it's fair. He probably wants to get this subjugate into the waste, right? And then bring
Yeah.
it back and start milling for the
Yeah.
eventual win condition that is the A show.
Correct. Correct. That's probably most likely his line of thought.
Mm-hmm.
He can definitely cook here a bit with the strikers, probably banking Magna even to just be able to drop that slinger in any case.
Yeah, I think you just don't want to randomly die to unit plus formidable at this spot, right? Just reduce the amount of damage on the board. Banking Magna feels weird, but I think it's less painful now because of the nerf.
Yeah, for sure.
So you just, I think clearing off the 6/6. Yep. I think imcute also kind of knows that the only way he loses fast is just randomly dying to big unit plus formidable. Decides to not want to deal with that. Cleans up the board, still leaves himself open to draw Poisoner for a clear. The all important triumph being in the hand, I think, with the subjugate set up on the board, I think is the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So will we see a Titan here from the Terra Glider, or just the Titan itself?
Yeah, I mean, you can go Titan now into Spores plus Terra Glider next time, which is like how you want to spore a Qatari deck, you know? So I'm thinking if he decides to go for it now, straight up, hoping to hit what's the 6? I guess the Terramech.
Can hit a Citrine Rose also for that defender, extra defender, which would be good in any case. But at the same time, no snitching the Aetian subjugate, so imcute will be forced to cook it before actually playing that triumph. So he
There
can
goes for the
keep on
draw
milling.
here right now. We are hits the Terramech, let's go! And then
And
there's even a
not happy about it.
coin. There is even a coin for the spore if required here. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. But of course, yeah, there's even a
Absolutely.
coin for the spore if you really want to do it.
So this puts
But
veryfatcat in a really nice position, already being able to deal so much damage to the face. And the spores will block any Master Poisoner play.
no, there'll still be one on board though. Like even if you trade the researcher into one of the units, there'll still be one left after the spore.
Yeah, one of the bear or the bearer probably, most likely, because he will want
Yeah.
to cook the Aetian subject. But this is already a lot of damage from Fat Cat with that
I don't think
Titan
he's
there.
doing it. He used the allocated provisions to pay 1 mana to conceal, so definitely not coining out the spore here. Reading the card, yes, read your cards.
There it is. Maritus is in the
So,
waste. He can
Snitching
recover
on
it from
the
the
subjugate,
triumph.
yeah. Probably a snitching on the subjugate and then just trade off something on the board right now.
He can't actually, yeah. He's not, yeah. It's just,
Yeah, he's gonna snitch the subjugate and then go from there. Cute probably just goes like remove his own subjugate from the board and then send it to the waste and go Moritus. Bring back a very big 11/11 Moritus with the subjugate effect.
do you think he's going to cook his own Aetian subject here?
There's two options. You're either doing this now or you are trying to mill a poisoner.
Yeah, he was
Let's
doing
see
that
if we mill the poisoner.
with a Reliant Gamma.
He milled the poisoner
He milled
off
it.
one play. I mean, he was gonna try anyway, I guess, but he milled it on the
Yeah.
before playing the triumph, which like further solidifies his play, I guess.
Yep.
He's gonna go Moritus Poisoner. I love this play. I don't think this is done enough. It's such a new thing, right? You go Moritus, copy something big, and then copy the Poisoner effect. I
Yep.
love this a lot. I really, really love this a lot. That's so nice to see though. 11/11 Poisoner.
But that's a bit ambitious, in my opinion, since a Formidable Presence can just cook this. But well, that's just my opinion.
But we do see that there is no Formidable Presence in the hand.
Yeah, but as you very well know
It's
it,
an out. It's an
we
out.
haven't seen any in the whole match, I believe.
Yeah. Moritus just becoming a huge poisoner is just hilarious because like it just gets one tapped. Just gets one tapped by anything, right? But if there's nothing to tap it, it sticks.
So nothing left in imcute's hand. This is kind of scary.
Yo, 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 Acio. But it's an 11-11 and no formidables in sight. Will veryfatcat
Ooh.
draw one of them? He does
None.
not.
But
Needs
he
to go
can
digging.
still search for
Yep.
it.
Needs to go digging. Needs to go digging. I mean, I think if he digs into it, it's gonna be really, really. I think it's gonna be really
Oof.
important that he finds it ASAP. Or maybe he decides to be like, oh, it's fine. Just goes for the spore. I can dig later.
Yeah,
I think I like this as well. You know.
As well, a researcher here just to dig up some stuff. But such a gigantic unit as a poisoner here. So it dies next turn for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a Terra mech will just be awful.
Quinto, from the limited amount of games we've seen as Acio, with Acio, has the Acio Paragon actually won any of the games yet? I cannot seem to remember.
Yeah, it PURP won against a Cathy, against Reizoo's Cathy.
Oh, right. Just literally today. Okay, I got exposed
Today-
for not watching
today
the
we saw
match,
it.
yes. Okay. No one
mean,
heard that. No one heard
Reizuu
that.
was just like he low rolled and only had one burn, so he was one burn away of winning basically. He couldn't get it.
No one heard that. I totally knew that. I was just testing you. But all right. So what can imcute draw in this spot, right? Just straight up a triumph. Straight up a
triumph.
triumph. Yeah, straight up a
We
triumph.
I don't know how many he has in the waist, so we have to see if he hasn't milled them first of all. But yeah, definitely triumph in this situation is what we want to see.
Chat, for the sake of casters, just check your waist. Just keep checking so that we will know along
Well,
with you. Because
They are delayed actually, so
yeah, that's true.
yeah. So it's
I mean,
over.
like I want the players to just have this habit of checking their waist because I think it's just a good habit to have, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta
Yeah.
know. You gotta know what's
You
in
gotta
there.
know, man. You gotta know.
So
Okay.
energy
Irrelevant
supply
cash.
share.
Irrelevant at this
No,
point.
really no. Yeah, irrelevant. Another
Again,
one.
yep. Would be really nice if we had that next turn.
Yeah.
Would be really
Yeah.
nice. Would be really okay. This is fine. This can be on the board. 3
So
mana 2/5.
am I tripping, or the Titan in veryfatcat's hand was banked?
Yeah, I think he banged the Titan, dude. You're not tripping. I also just realized it. I thought it's one of those things that you never expect, right? Like banking the Titan. Then when you mentioned it, I was like, yeah, it's gone.
Ooh, the Formatician's Exalt here.
That's
Keep
great. That's
milling.
great.
This
That's
is
really
a
good.
great card
That's
here
really,
for
really good, yeah.
imcute. Leaving this tabula to be able to play
Oh,
something.
that's even better.
Ooh.
Do we just bang this tabula? Surely we just
Yeah,
bang
for
this
sure.
tabula.
For sure.
Right.
Tabula to the
Yep.
bank,
Insta banking
the
of the
one.
tabula.
Yeah.
If this 11-9 doesn't go phase, everyone get ready to call the cops, please. If this, thank you. All right, moving on
And
with our
there's
live.
it, another poisoner.
All right, what do we do now?
Yeah, because now there's no enraged beast in that waste for H, so he definitely needs to
Oh,
go
sorry, the
face.
pickup of the formidable is huge, no? Because that just gets rid of the 11-9
Yeah.
cleanly.
There it
Now
is,
he has
the
poison
formidable.
attack. Yeah.
Gonna do the job
Also,
here.
fun fact, this Mias Mancer in the deck is supposed to be for the Earthen Mirror, but it
But it's
Omega
super
destroys
good.
Acio. Yes.
Oof,
It
cooks
Omega
it.
destroys Acio as well.
Yeah,
But we see it happen. I wanna
good spot
maybe
there.
see it happen.
Remember
see,
the
we'll see.
days of blocking
Uni
needs with
organ,
a
right?
bunch of
Ah,
Maya
yes.
Mancers. Yeah, and definitely against Acio, it's absolutely over.
Yeah, the crazy thing is you kind of know when you need to do it. It's very obvious, right? That deck has no cards. Mias Mancer just low-key cooking Acio without it being the main reason why you're running it in this top 16.
Yeah, exactly.
What do
Very
we call
nice.
it? We call it like spray damage. Like you just like get caught in the crossfire of
Yeah, collateral damage.
Collateral
this-
damage, yes. Not spray
this-
damage. Spray collateral damage, yes.
This happens a lot in TCGs where it's like
Mm-hmm.
you want to play these off meta things that can deal with the meta, but then there's this one card that
Yeah.
actually can cook you, and everyone is running it, but it's not that important. And this is it right now. This is
Yeah.
what happens.
It's so unimportant except the Earthen Mirror, but it destroys the Asia deck.
Yeah, this
How
really-
tragic.
yeah.
All right, but that being
correct.
said, it's not that point in the game yet. imcute is still sitting at a very comfortable 30 health, and Maya's Mensa only does the work for 1 turn.
Yeah, but Fat Cat might be able to set up such a good board here that definitely, Earthen just
Oh.
needs one turn.
He
Yeah,
misplayed, right? He missed 2
he
damage
misplayed.
because he killed off the poisoner guy.
Oops, there it is.
Oops. He didn't do it again. That was the first actual misplay. It's fine. He didn't do it again. All right, let's see. All right, this Wong got a
Oof.
hit. This Wong got a hit good, man. What are we
What are we
looking
hitting
for?
here? An ATN subjugate into that Reliant Gamma, probably.
Maybe just things to do.
He's angry. He didn't get what he needed.
I wonder what he was actually looking for. Is there
Oh,
anything
and Rage
specific?
Beast is actually
Yeah, what is he actually? Was there anything specific that he really wanted? Maybe
Yeah,
maybe there was a card he could find that milled the deck. Nah. No, there's too
no,
many
he
cards.
already
left in
played the
deck.
unilateral selections, which were milling. He
Okay.
was looking at least for an effect that he could bank or something. He has.
Ah, yes. I think you're right, Quinto. Right, the Wong drawing 1 just means you whiffed on every effect that could be
Yeah.
possible in your deck.
And he's only running he's running Snow Snitchins and
Very
the
Fat Cat is
Triumph.
very good at getting energy supply cash, huh?
Yep.
Oh, we see the Terra. We see the Terra pick up. This is the swing, right? This puts you in potential 2-turn lethal territory with the Terra.
Yep.
Let's see. We're gonna get a draw first.
So much draw here from this Ramayan researcher in this match.
Yep, we're gonna get a draw. Let's see what we get.
Crimea Conduit. Good for banking, I think.
Yep, good for. Literally read my mind, Quinto. I just want to say, like, you don't want to bank the Maya's Mensa
Moonlit.
for sure, and
Or
the Moonlit, and you definitely want
or
to
the
play the
Maya Mensa.
Terra. So yeah, that's a good bank.
What do you want to see here?
I don't think we can
Faced-
play both Terra and the Moonlit this turn though, so it's a bit awkward.
I do think that he can clear even if he's still far away from lethal. But Earthen just needs one turn to actually set up an insane board, especially with a Terra, that he can just clear this board at this point.
Yeah, so what you need to be doing here is on the turn when you play Maya's Mensa, you need to win next turn, right? Because
yeah, exactly.
you die if you don't. So
Exactly.
yeah.
But
he's gonna do
with a
this.
Terra on board and a Moonlit also, just make sure don't play the Maya Mancer first.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, Quinto, he's not banking. If you notice, he went for the coin. I don't think he's banking, right?
So
If
he's
not, you
gonna
wouldn't coin this
play
out.
the Crimea Conduit just to have a
Yep,
bigger
yep.
board.
Yep. Just going for the kill on the following turn. Classic anti-uni organ style, right? Set up a board, play Maya's Mensa, kill them on the
Yep.
following turn. Yeah, because of
Yeah,
the
this is
buff,
it.
the Moonlit buffs, yeah. Not even trading. Probably trades the subjugate. I would be. Oh, yep. Okay, that's responsible. Trading the subjugate.
And
So
he
I
has
think,
lethal
I think
next
there is
turn
lethal.
with
Yeah,
a Moonlit.
lethal
Yep.
with just the Moonlit. Can imcute pull himself out of this situation? Is there a way to let
I
Tabula
don't
become
think
a
so.
Domina?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Especially
there is
with this
no, there
Master
is
Poison.
nothing. So I think, Quinto, this is it. There is no way to abuse this poisoner effect. Yeah, unless I'm wrong. Banks the poisoner. And I believe it might be done. 5
This
plus
is
8
it.
plus 4, 17 on board. With the heal from the Moonlit on the Terra, allowing for the board to be buffed slightly.
There it is.
There
Doesn't
it
even
is.
need the Maya Mancer at this point. Gets a munitions supply.
In the same fashion as how he won the top 16 match, winning the first 2 games, dropping game 3, and coming back to winning game 4. Very Fat Cat just doing the math. I realized I started this a bit early because there's a lot of clicking involved with Earthen. But yes, going for the buff on the Terra, the heal on the Terra, the buff to 20 plus damage on board. And I think imcute sees the writing on the wall and will concede this match to veryfatcat. 21 damage to the face.
That's gonna be
Congratulations,
it.
Fat Cat, putting himself in the top 4.
No need for the Mayamancer here. Right
Yeah.
away. This is what we were talking about, like Terra setting up the possibility of just giving the lethal.
He is very good at getting energy supply cash. I cannot deny. But all right, opponent gives it up. Congratulations, Fat Cat. Very convincing performance. 3-1 going into the semi-finals. Pinto, what do you have to say about this match?
Very well played. Definitely, we saw there that even with a Maritus getting some insane pulls out of the waste, especially the poisoner, I think it backfired. Giving it the poisoner, he could have, I would say, like just get the poisoner out and be able to do something there, and that could have possibly used the Maritus in another situation. Anyways, this is what we see when off-meta decks don't manage to actually do the job and get backfired.
All right. Very nice, very nice. So I think, firstly, once again, well played by imcute. Well played by imcute, right? Congratulations on making it to the top 8. But also even more well played, veryfatcat, making it to the top 4. Congratulations. And with that being said, this is me and Quinto. Quinto, when this is all done, we need to do it together. We need to say the line, Quinto. It is
Jover.
over. Let's go. We are cutting the break right now. See you guys in a bit.